All right. Hello, you guys.
Hi.
Hey,
I'm old
hey.
womaning it.
Allie's
I
here. AR's here. Nathan's here.
just
Anissa.
want to show all y'all this shirt.
Yep. Oh, hold on. I have to mute
Old
you.
womaning it. Oh, I had such a good time, Anissa. I had such a good time. Like I was there for that live last week. I feel like it was last week, right? Because I don't. My
Mhm.
timeline is getting worse as I get older.
Oh, great.
Uh, that was such a good time. Like I,
Nice.
I had so much fun, and I feel like I was drunk for one reason or another. But I'm gonna
Yeah.
do this episode like you can actually see my face. And this is Bo's pillow, so when he comes to lay over here, he can like put his head on this pillow, y'all. So sorry.
Yep. Bo is going to make his grand appearance. It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I
he'll especially if the phone rings. Like he'll because for those of y'all that don't know, I'm waiting on food, so I might be like mugging down a little bit on this stream. Don't get after me for it. Like I meant to eat earlier. It was the whole thing.
It happens. It happens. At
I
least
know.
you remembered to eat this time.
Thank you. At least. Thank you for having me, by the way, before we
Yes, of course. So if you guys do not know, this is Audra. She has a channel here on YouTube, Audra at Home. She is phenomenal. She does makeup, commentary, frenetic energy.
Yeah, like it is intense. I know that it's a lot for some people, but for neurodivergent people, it's fine.
Exactly. Right? Exactly. And I think that's why like I enjoy your content so much, just because now that like I'm finally learning that that I've got some kind of ADHD, my anxiety, all of that, it just
Yeah,
makes it easier to, and then to listen to you talk about it. So
yeah, because like I actually, I think I popped on Instagram today and I was just talking about like I feel like a lot of the stigma around these kinds of things actually it's because of people's casual use of it. So people will casually say like, "Ugh, I have anxiety," and it's like, no, you're anxious. That's not anxiety. People be like, "Ugh, I'm so OCD about." I'm like, no, you're anal retentive. You are
correct.
not OCD. And I think Allie was there, and I was just like sitting there like, no, please stop throwing these terms around
Correct.
that are actually like something that people live with and struggle with in a lot of ways as
Mhm.
like talking about your behavior for like just liking all your red pens to be together. Like you're not OCD because you like that.
Right. Hey, Nessa. Yeah, I was actually having this conversation with a few people on my Twitter, and it was talking about how people use the word bipolar,
Oh
you know,
yeah.
and they
They're
don't
like,
even
"Oh, I'm so bipolar." And I'm like,
yeah, or they'll say
"No."
the weather's bipolar, and you're like, the weather?
Yeah. I'm like, the weather isn't bipolar. Like, y'all need to stop using these terms so casually because it takes away from the people who legitimately have these things and are struggling with them and are taking medication and going through all of this shit just trying to like have what everyone else has as the baseline of normal.
Yeah,
And so it's like, please stop saying that kind of shit. I want people to stop saying it. Just as a general rule, like check your language. Just realize that when you're saying that you're just like, oh, like, I am such a depressive. Like, you're not a depressive if you don't actually have depression.
correct.
Like, you're just having an episode, which is different. Like, even with me, I have ADHD and I have autism, but a lot of people with ADHD can have depressive episodes, but aren't necessarily depressed. They don't have depression. And a lot of those episodes stem from the ADHD causing all of this anxiety and all these issues and making you feel like a failure because you didn't finish this. So you may fall into an episode, but you're not depressed.
Correct. Correct. And everybody has levels of anxiety, but that doesn't mean you have an anxiety disorder.
Correct.
So
Like it's super easy to just start like saying these things but not really understanding what you're saying. And I got that because like I was when I was younger and I did that shit, it was easy to just like pop off and be like, oh my god, I'm so OCD about my pens. Oh, I'm so OCD, but at some point I had to start realizing like, oh no, people fucking have OCD. Like this is a real
right.
thing. And this is like it's not it's not the same as me wanting this thing to be in this place every day. Like that's just me being anal retentive and my ADHD saying like if it's in the same place every day, then I'm okay. Like that's what that is. It's not the same.
Exactly. So, okay, well, we didn't even have that on our agenda, but it's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine. That's what we are here for, just to talk about everything.
Gay mama bear, if you like, I'm not sure how you identify, but I'm going to say this. If you are a perceived as a woman, we get diagnosed bipolar like you would not believe. It is unreal how many women are misdiagnosed as bipolar because it's the easiest thing. So they just go like, "Oh, you're bipolar." But what they don't tell you is like those highs are like real high and those lows are real low. And both of those last for very long periods of time. It's not like, and this is why I think a lot of women get diagnosed this way, because the second that you say you have highs and lows, oop, there's my food. The second that you say you have highs and lows, they immediately like, oh, you're bipolar and leave it at that. But they don't really ever ask about the time period that you're high or low. So they just start diagnosing you and giving you medication for bipolar disorder because I was affected by this as well. And I'm just like, well, when I don't take this medication, nothing changes for me.
Yeah.
Like, that was the thing. I was like, nothing changes for me. When I'm not taking this bipolar medication, I'm so sorry. Nothing's changing. I'm
Yeah.
not experiencing extreme highs. I'm not experiencing extreme lows. I'm in a bad marriage. Like, like that was the thing. I was like, I'm in a bad marriage.
Your
I'm
medication was a divorce. That was
yes.
medication.
Yes. I was like, y'all fucking around. Like, you're just really making things like trippy. And I'm just like, no, no. I was in a bad marriage for a long period of time. And like, what were my highs and lows? The euphorias were when he was actually being nice to me. The lows were when he was being shit. And then some of those highs came with me buying bunches of things because I was like, I'm so sad and I need to find a way to not feel like shit. I'll
Yeah.
be right back. I'm going to grab my food.
Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, everybody.
Nope, you're fine. Okay, you guys. So whilst Audra is getting her food, why don't you guys put some things in the chat that you want us to talk about? We do have a few things that that we talked about beforehand that we want to speak on, but let us know anything in particular. I guess it was kind of a slow week. I don't feel like a lot happened like last week when me and AR literally talked on here for like 5 hours. So I don't think there's that much going on, but I do know there are some things that are going on. So whatever it is, just pop it in the chat. Allie says she gonna make some coffee. Because Allie knows.
Sorry about that, y'all. If I honestly, if I don't go get the door, Bo will freak out because I've been trading him about like not freaking out at the door and like letting me check and then he checks. So I apologize.
Yeah, Allie's like, I'm gonna make some coffee because she knows we're gonna talk.
I know we don't chat.
We are going to chit chat. Oops for the quick 5 hours. It was a quick 5 hours, not
right. I feel like I had filmed on that day too when I showed up and y'all were live and I was like, oh shit. Or I was like, I may have been doing like a Twitch live or some bullshit.
We might.
We might.
So, we
Hope
will.
y'all don't mind me eating because like it's happening.
Right. So, let's see. Can someone? Oh.
Ooh.
So, can someone explain the Jackie and D'Angelo situation? I didn't see the problems that people were reaching hard. So, those are two separate situations, correct?
Yep.
So, with the Jackie thing, she posted a video and it was doing TikTok hacks, makeup hacks that she saw on TikTok. And within the video, she was talking about how she, likes to give creators the, their props. But she didn't call out those creators because those creators didn't make the hacks. Those
Yeah,
are
for
they've seen done, and even Jackie during the video, she was saying how she's done this hack before, so it's not, you know what I mean? So it's not like she had, who is she going to tag? Who is the original creator? Um, so when she didn't do that, then of course you've got the people who will forever hate Jackie, kind of call her out or whatever. And I think to shut them up, she ended up, tagging the creators of the TikToks that she used. Yeah. So.
I mean, I will say that if I use a TikTok creator's information, like if I actually put their TikTok in my video, I will tag them.
Yeah.
They're the ones that I have.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I did a couple, like I've had TikToks in mine, and I don't always remember to tag, but I leave the screen, their name.
Yeah. I mean, the reason why I tag and link it, to be honest, is because I don't want people to copyright claim me. And I find that if you like, most people will be okay if they're intellect, because the thing about TikTok that people don't understand is like, especially with Black creators, I could make a sound and say something or do something, and then a white person takes my same sound and they have 10 million views and likes and like all this stuff. And not once did they credit me, the original creator, because
Right.
once it's out there, like people can use sounds, but people just don't understand the difference between using sounds and fully stealing someone else's content. And
Right.
that's the whole thing that's happening right now. But yeah.
Yeah, because I think when you use a sound, like I always go to the originator, no matter what it is, because I'm like, oh, I want to see what the original looked like, and then I want to give that person their credit. But then what people started doing is they would, put the music under it and then make it sound. And so that's when it's, and then you can't ever find the originator. You can never find the originator when people do things like that.
Yeah, because when they do that, it becomes a new original sound.
Yes.
And people don't realize that, like if I took a sound that Cherita did, and then I put music underneath their voice, like it's now my sound. It's now like the music and her voice, but it's not going to show up underneath her.
Correct. Yep. And there's a lot of people who are doing that. There's a lot of people who are doing that. And I don't know how many times I have left a comment bar for bar, because people are literally not even like using a voice, but there was one, it was this Black kid, of course. And it was something about like, oh, the top 3 craziest movies I've seen on Netflix.
Yes, I saw that. I follow him.
Okay. I follow him. And literally it was word for word. I think the guy said something along the lines of, this is honestly the craziest movie I've ever seen. And then the white guy who stole the content, literally same thing.
He apparently took it down.
He did. He apologized and took it down, but still, I'm just like, how are you okay with that?
The same thing happened to an Asian lady. A white lady took this Asian lady stuff and did it like almost bar for bar, how she did it, like even to the transitions.
Oh yeah, like, I saw that.
Yes, because I love that lady because she's amazing. And I can't remember names. Please don't come after me for that. But like, it was just, and this keeps happening. And she explained why it was racist, and people were still trying to comfort her because she was like, no, here's why it's racist.
Right.
And went through being like, you are getting big off of the intellectual property of someone. And then when they tell you that you are stealing it, you insist that you are not. Right. That's where the problem comes in.
Right. Right. Well, back to like the Jackie thing. I think people got mad because she said, what did she say? She said something along the lines of like, well, white people don't credit me, so I'm not going to credit them.
Yeah.
And a lot of people see it as, when, like when they go low, we go high or whatever. And Jackie's like, nah, I'll stay low. And then but the crazy thing is, these are the same people who watch Jeffree Star snap at his fans
every day.
And they're like, oh, go off, King. Like, yes. But when Jackie says something like that is, I mean, objectively truthful, then now it's a problem. Now it's a problem.
And here's the thing, I think that people just, I get that Jackie can be polarizing for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
but like, let's just like take a minute to realize that like we wouldn't be having these same conversations if it was anybody but Jackie.
Right.
Like
Right.
we wouldn't be having a conversation about like, oh, where's the credit? Where's the credit? Nobody would be saying that. You know, if any white creator that
Mm-hmm.
Jackie size did the same thing, nobody would be asking for credit. Nobody would be saying like, oh, where's the credit for these people? You always talk about the, they wouldn't be saying that.
No, because they just use that to further fuel their hate, towards her.
Mm-hmm.
So they watch her every move. I want to know if they know what what went down on TikTok today.
Ooh, girl, that was listen, y'all, listen, because if y'all don't know me, I like mess. I just don't like to be in it. Like I love mess. I'm like, let me see what's happening, child. I'm in the middle of the mess, watching the mess happen. And I was like, I immediately go because I like sent it to Cherita in DMs from TikTok. I was like, I don't think Cherita sees it because I haven't seen them pop in yet. So I like message Cherita on Marco Polo. I'm like, listen. Like she can hear the TikTok, like because it's a TikTok live happening. I
Mhm.
was like, girl, you need to come on over. I sent you the link. Come on in and see this.
I was in there in 2 seconds. Two
It's a whole
seconds.
mess.
I was
Whole
like,
mess.
"Oop." But yep. So I'm just hoping that they don't get a hold of that, but they probably will. You
I
know,
know. I'm
they.
sure they will. Because Sis was mad though. Sis was mad upset. And I understood why she was
Oh, and she
upset.
had every reason to be upset. She had every
Mm-hmm.
reason to be upset. So I'm not even mad at her for being mad. But yeah.
And
So
D'Angelo.
yeah. Okay. So the D'Angelo situation. That okay. I think we need to normalize what we'll get there, Allie. I think we need to normalize being able to change your mind when presented
Mm,
with new information.
yes.
D'Angelo did put it out there that he does not agree with, like he's not agreeing with James and whatever at all.
Mm-hmm.
He put it out there, but he doesn't want to do a video, because he doesn't want to, give him that platform. Now, granted, yeah, he did talk. He talked about James a couple months ago, but that was a couple months ago. And aren't people allowed to change and grow? And
Mm-hmm.
they preach that so much. Oh, so they can't change. They can't this. I personally would not delete my videos, but again, that's just me. And the reason why he can't delete his videos right away is because those 3 videos were sponsored and he's
Mm-hmm.
contract. He can't delete
Mm-hmm.
those videos. And he did reach out to them. He did reach out to them and say, hey, can I take this down because blah, blah, blah. But
And he did them sponsored so that he did not have to worry about YouTube monetization.
exactly,
So
exactly.
he did not have to, because the thing that people don't realize is if you monetize your video and YouTube deems it not monetizable, they can also not allow your video to go out to the people. Like
Right.
being monetized, like when they say your video isn't not monetizable, it's not just like, oh, you're not going to make money. That's not the whole thing.
Yeah, they're not going to push it. They're not going to push
Yeah.
the video. So yeah. Um, so basically, Allie, the thing on TikTok was like last night there
Mm-hmm.
was like some like confusion between a girl who had liked a tweet or yeah, no, Jackie had made a tweet and then the girl had made a TikTok and it kind of seemed like they coincided with each other and that
Mm-hmm.
girl was shading Jackie, but she wasn't at all.
Mm-hmm.
And then Jackie came into her comments and they just had some words.
They had some words.
Words were had. So
It was very like, okay, sis, well, then you need to pay attention to this. Well, I don't have time to do this. Well, okay, but like, I'm not mad at you.
yeah, it was a lot of back and forth. And I think also because Jackie is now getting targeted by, like these other drama channels,
Mhm.
But she's probably just like real, like she's probably tired of it right now. So yeah.
She's
And
sensy. Like, I would be sensitive at this point. Like, if you wake up and there's people like, oh, Jackie's the videos saying that she's calling people slurs or whatever. Like, snow possums isn't a slur, by the way. It just isn't. I don't.
anyway,
I don't care. It's not.
it's not at all. But
But
what?
like, I
Yeah,
don't know. D'Angelo deleting those videos, I wouldn't delete them. I understand why he's doing so to a degree. I would not, because what you put out into the world, you put out into the world. Because
right.
the reality of the situation is people already have those videos downloaded or whatever.
Mhm,
So it's
mhm,
not like they're going to just, the internet is forever. So
right.
it's not like people, and those had millions of views. It's not like it was a video, those videos collectively had like, 10,000 people, that it was millions of views. Those are forever. There's no point in deleting it.
Yeah,
But I get where he's coming from, because I've told you in private, and I'll say it here. I'm not ever going to speak on this situation, and I will never speak on these kinds of situations involving predatory behavior,
mhm,
um, because I feel like everything gets lost in the sauce, and we no longer know who's real, who's not real, what real stories are being told. We saw what happened when Sanders Kennedy was so excited to get his views, and wasn't telling the truth anymore. And so like there's a point where it becomes more about you talking about this thing so that you can make money, and less about all the people who have been victimized. And don't get it twisted, I'm guaranteeing you that there are people who have not spoken out who he was successful with. So knowing that, I'm like, I don't want to talk about this, because we've seen what happens over and over and over again. These rich white men, nothing happens to them. Nothing happens. So if you are a victim of this kind of shit and you spoke out and you talked about what happened to you, and then everybody on YouTube got on and they got their views and they did their thing, and then people started lying, like, what are the cops supposed to be trying to find?
right,
Like,
right.
if they don't go to the police, what exactly are the cops supposed to be going off of at this point?
Mhm,
Because when you look at the videos that contradict what happened, it just becomes a nightmare. And I feel like, while I get that people want to bring awareness to it, I do not want to cause additional trauma or harm to victims. So
right.
I just rather not talk about it.
Yep, that makes sense. I mean, I might casually mention something about it, but and it's hard. And like you said, the like victims who haven't said anything probably are thinking, well, maybe that people are talking about it, then I will get some kind of justice. But we know they never will.
Yeah, because we've watched it. Like, what was that? Romeo Lacoste still at large. Like,
The Lopez brothers.
yes. So like all of these people, just they're still at large, allowed to behave the way that they want to behave. And you know, I just don't want to build a following based on other people's trauma. That's it.
Correct. Correct. And then so here, yeah, and that's the other thing is they don't delete their videos about Jeffrey and Shane. They didn't delete their videos when they were wrong about them about what's his name calling Jackie a gorilla. Like those videos are still
Hmm.
also, and then on top of that, they didn't even make follow-up videos.
Thank you. They don't care.
They really don't. They do not. Um and
I
yeah,
think what's sad is that they're like actually like nice people
mhm,
in real life,
probably.
but
But they do
on
anything
YouTube
for
they're
money.
monsters.
Anything for money, apparently. And then this too, D'Angelo made videos based on the information that he had. And like I said,
Hmm.
we can change our minds with new information.
Yeah,
Like that, it's all about learning and growing and doing better.
because I think the thing that people are missing is he does not want to put in more emotional labor
Hmm.
to correct or rehash these issues. And I think people just don't get that. Like, he doesn't want to do this anymore. That's why he said it when it started. He was like, I'm not making a video on this.
Right.
And people were like, oh, da, da, da. And I'm like, no. First of all, y'all don't get to demand of creators what the hell they make. Like, that really needs to end. This idea of like, sending people traumatic shit and being like, Cherita, I hope you talk about this. Like, Cherita has a lot of shit. Cherita don't necessarily want to talk about
Right.
traumatic ass shit every goddamn day. Like sometimes Cherita just wants to kiki and have a good time.
Right. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. And but the crazy thing is they've also said things like, "Oh, you can't dictate what I talk about on my channel.
Mm-hmm.
You can dictate what other people do on their channels."
Yeah.
It's
And they
weird.
only say that they only started saying that when they started getting all this backlash when they kept riding for Jeffree.
Yeah. Yep. So I guess in a nutshell, that's the D'Angelo and Jackie situation. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, hopefully they just need to leave her alone. They need to leave these Black creators alone.
Yeah, but that's where the money is. Harassing Jackie and having a video talking about Jackie Ina did what is what makes money.
Right. Oh, and then earlier, somebody asked a snow what? A snow possum. That word, the first time I heard it was head of the hoochies on TikTok.
Yep,
So
because they have all kinds now,
yeah.
and it's really intense. But like, it's still not a slur.
So I heard some white girl call this other white man a ranch rooster.
No, no.
Ranch rooster. I lost it. I
I just
absolutely.
ate my body weight in food. It's fine. We'll be okay.
So Angie wants to know, when the hell are they actually going to be held accountable and consequences being handed out? Never. The answer is never.
It's gonna be like, so it's like a lot of people are like Harvey Weinstein, right? That
Yeah.
was like that was a scapegoat basically. They let that one go because he was old and shitty.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't contributing anything. Because honestly, if they really would have found a way to sweep this under the rug if he was like younger and spry, but he wasn't. So they're like, you're gonna have to take one for the team, bro.
Right. Hey, Athena. But yeah.
Like the way that always works is it's just, I mean, I've said this multiple times, and I think I said this in your live where I was like, the white patriarchy allows predatory behavior to
Oh,
thrive. Like
yeah.
it's always going to allow it to thrive because these creepy old men want to be able to, continue taking advantage of 16-year-old girls.
Right.
And so even if they find that, even if in their wheelhouse, like doing these kinds of things to boys is like, ugh, they're
Yeah.
not going to do anything about it because then that means that their behavior against young girls will be policed and they don't want that.
Exactly. So they allow young boys to get preyed on so that they can continue to prey on girls. That's the
Yes.
only reason. That's the only reason.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
don't do it because they care.
They really don't. Like if Jeffree was like super old, or like tired, they
Right.
would have handled up on that. They would have been like, "Oh, we got to throw another bone.
Yeah.
Out goes Jeffree." Like,
Right. Just make room for the new one. It's gross. But yes, ranch rooster. I'm telling you guys, I think I maybe even saved the TikTok, but I don't know. Paige came under a tweet saying, "I don't like Jackie, but don't call her aggressive. It's like pick a lane and stay there and let it go already." Yeah. And that's the other thing is, I mean, actually, I'm surprised to hear that Paige took up for her.
Me too.
Especially when it's her friends that are targeting Jackie,
Listen,
which is weird in my opinion.
her friends.
Yeah, her friends.
I'm like,
But yeah, don't call Jackie aggressive. Like Jackie's not aggressive, nor does she use slurs.
yeah. It's just like I feel like because listen, the news cycle is slow. The
Yeah.
girls are bored.
Yes, yes. That's really what it is. That's
So
what it is. Yep, because I mean, ever since Jeffree, ever since Jeffree just kind of has, stepped back because he's had to,
yeah.
like you said, yeah, they're bored. What are they gonna talk about?
Yeah, because like the smaller beauty community, because here's the thing, and I'm not gonna lie, like yes, there's drama in the smaller beauty community, but you know what the difference is? We just keep it amongst ourselves. We just like have our fucking arguments and we move the fuck on. Like there's no reason for it to be everybody's business. Because we learned from watching all of this
Yes.
go down that we were like, yeah, I don't want that in my life. I do not want to like I do not want to be defending myself and having like videos in a fucking gray
Yeah.
hoodie. Like I don't want
Right.
to. Sit there be
Exactly.
like, listen. Like I don't even know how to actually cry. Leave me alone.
Oh no. Okay, so Swoop made a good video that touched on the James Charles situation and how YouTube has allowed that behavior. I watched that video. It was a really good video. So
Well,
that
I think one of the things that people don't understand is like YouTube, Spotify, all of these platforms are walking a very careful line. It's not just about money. And I don't think people understand that. It's not just about money. Like, yes, they make money, but the issue comes with who they deplatform and how they justify it. And then they have to be very, very, very transparent to the point of like to the letter, line by line, as to what constitutes deplatforming someone.
right.
And I don't know that that's like, I don't agree with these people being here, but I also understand that I don't think that I want the platform to always be allowed to do that because, again, even though I don't like hate speech and nastiness, if some racist wants to have a channel and have racist people like hang out and like they should be allowed to do
Yeah.
so because that is what free speech is. It's not freedom of consequences. I mean, as long as you're not inciting violence, right? And so if you're not
Right.
inciting violence, you can spew your hatred and your biases and your homophobia and your transphobia. You can spew it.
Yeah.
If we allow the platform to constantly deplatform people for things that we like, some of us, like that's the thing, some of us deem as not worthy, when does it exactly stop?
Right.
Who like that ends up silencing a lot of black creators in a lot of ways that we don't even really want to think about because we're already having a hard time. Imagine they just start being like, oh well, you just did this thing, so bye black people, like, and then we wouldn't have anything.
Right. Right. Hey, Karmatics. Um, yeah. It's I think I don't know. I do agree with, yeah, they should be able to talk, like you said, as long as they're not, inciting violence. And but I don't know, but even that is a thin line. Hey, Michelle.
Yeah, because like I mean, because the things going on with James Charles, like there's not been any arrests or police in of any form. So at this point, YouTube has no real reason, and they're like, people are like, well, he admitted it. I'm like, again, there's no legal recourse that has taken place at this time.
Yeah.
So with there not being any like anyone taking this person to jail, YouTube is just sitting there like, I mean, how do we handle it?
Right. And the only reason why they won't do anything as of right now is because he makes them so
He
much
makes them so much
money.
money.
So much
So
money.
much money. I'm like, so much money.
It is, and then it sucks that, I mean, Snapchat, Instagram, and that's where majority of the things happened. Like,
Yeah. And and again, it starts falling. The problem is it keeps falling into these like gray areas when this shit happens,
yeah,
of like, because a lot of people like, listen, everybody's social media doesn't have their age.
right.
I mean, you should know. I'm going to tell you, you should know. Because I'm going to tell you right now, like, I can tell that a young man is underage just like looking at it. Like, I can see him from afar, be like, that's a teenager. I'm 40 years old. I can tell just by like the structure, the way his little knees are jutting out. I'm like, listen, those ain't a grown man's knees. That is a child's knees, and that's okay. So like, so I don't look. You know what I mean? Like, I have the sense not to like be like, oh, like I, try to catch that, but like I don't know what people expect to be because it's not, this is a public forum again, and it's not a space where people, any like no legality has happened. Now, see,
Yes.
this is the thing about YouTube made Tati take it down. Are we positive?
Yeah. I don't know. But also because of James and his video, and you know what I mean? Like, because he basically like told, like, said his truth and basically made it seem like Tati's video was just a big, a big lie. And then you've got
Mm-hmm.
these kids that are like, how can this video still be up? She's just spreading lies about James and blah 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 blah. But then also, and now we don't even know it's true because Tana, um, because Tana Mojo, she had posted on Twitter and was like, I was 100% manipulated into making that tweet about that Gage guy, the James and Gage situation.
Yeah.
And at this point, it's like who do we believe?
That's what I'm saying. Like, who do we believe anymore? Because every time you turn around, someone was quote unquote manipulated, someone was tricked. It's just, there's a lot of weird stuff happening. And AR had said something to the effect of like James was poised to like take over from Jeffrey like this. So then they could get rid of him, but now they can't because, so now
Mm-hmm.
they have two of them. I, like, I just feel that like the old school YouTube mentality, and I feel like until like people understand, because like people can complain all day long, their subscriber counts aren't really dropping,
Nope.
so you're still watching and you're still subscribed, whether you're subscribed because in case shit happens or you just forgot to unsubscribe, like people are still subscribed.
Right.
um so until like literally until all those people actually get down,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, so I heard that, and here's the thing that like I'm never sure if that's actually true. Like I've heard, because I feel like there's been other really intense, damaging YouTube, like all of the D'Angelo videos were damning in multiple ways against three of their profile content creators, and nothing there. So like this is where I get weird because I'm like, I don't know if they really doing it or if she just said that because like we don't know. Tati was Tati, but like
Right. Tati was tating.
yes, Tati was Tati.
All right, Miss Audra, we've got a text message from your nephew Miles. He said,
Oh,
"Hi, Mom and Miss Audra." He wanted to add love to the chat, but it would have put baby daddy's name out there. So,
oh, hi baby, how you doing?
so yeah, let me see. Oh yeah, and that makes sense. So,
Yeah,
and this is why Social Blade doesn't do those live updates of sub counts
yes,
because do you? I mean, we sat there and watched millions and millions of people unfollow James.
facts.
People watched.
It was like watching us, like it was pretty terrible. It was, you know how when they're like taking a building down, I guess I see this all the time in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and they like air it on TV, like this old building, and everybody just watches. We're like, oh, look at the building. It was like that, and it was
Yeah.
horrific.
Yeah.
I feel like Tati took that video down so quick because like because it wasn't as quick as we think it was. There was a good chunk of time where that video came out and we were like, yes, sis, get him, sis, speak your truth, Tati. And then James spoke,
Yes.
and that is where everything, I think she took that video down her damn self, because when he spoke, she did not look good.
Right.
It didn't look good for her to keep that video on her channel. Like, let's be real, it did not look good for her to keep that up. And
Right.
it wouldn't have looked good for anybody for you to like keep this video up where you're accusing this man of all this stuff. And then he comes out with like his receipts. I'm putting receipts in quotes because nobody in the situation actually had receipts.
Right.
But he comes out with his receipts, and then it was like, and then she took her video the fuck down. And because it didn't look good. And
Yeah.
she was like, bye sisters. And then it did not look good when that when he came out, and he's especially because he was talking about self-harm and all of this kind of stuff. It did not look good. She looked terrible. And
Right.
everybody could have, I mean, anybody could have told her, girl, you're gonna end up looking a fool hanging out with Jeffrey. But she was like, no, he's not gonna bite me like that. I'm like, okay.
Okay.
Did you
Okay.
not like that woman with that snake
Oh
on
my
Twitter?
God.
Like that woman with that snake, wasn't feeding well, and that snake tried to take her the hell out. It was like, I'm gonna eat you.
So I don't like snakes. So like as soon as I saw like the trigger warning and it was like snake, I quickly went past it. But I
Ugh,
think it was you that commented and was it somebody commented
it
and
was
was like
me.
and said something about like, well, cats treat their owners worse than this. So I just
Oh, no,
assumed.
that wasn't me. No, they
Oh,
do not. Cats do not. These people were not taking care of this snake. And when she this because for a python of that size
uh-huh.
to like bite and hold on and like curl
Oh,
around,
is that what it
like
did?
it was hungry, like to a bad degree.
There it is, Allie. Nikki said it. So
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of snakes, did you guys see that other video? And I mean, bless her heart because the snake was her pet, and propped up her she propped up her phone and cried into the snake. Like, and I'm not talking just like, but like, I mean, she was like sobbing, and like the caption was like, "Last night my snake died, and I'm gonna miss him so much." And she literally was like sobbing into her dead snake.
Human beings form some very odd connections. AR, I was cheering for the snake. Me too. I was like, I hope he eats her whole. She
Right?
deserves this. He bit her and like, oof.
Okay. And apparently he had a small cage. See,
Yeah, small cage. Like it was a small, dirty cage. He was not happy.
is that
So
on? Was she an animal rescuer? Because baby, when I tell you, but she took the time to prop up her phone, film herself crying, and then upload it to the internet.
yeah. Because like Shadows would say Tati ruined her own reputation. What's interesting is how many people be like, I wish Tati would come back. I'm like, yo, Tati is not coming back, and I wouldn't come back if I was Tati either.
Ooh.
Because the amount of shit you would have to wade through to get back to positivity would be so high.
Yes.
It would be so high. Because we all like most of us remember that Tati's like apology video, like apology, didn't go over well.
Right. No, not at all. Not,
Like it didn't go over well. So it was just like when she tried to come back, because again she didn't take responsibility. So it was like so at this and it she was hoping that that would be the thing that would fix the situation. It did not. It
right.
went over like a wet fart. So like so I mean I wouldn't come back. I mean and I'm like no shade to her. I liked Tati.
Yeah.
She just like when she stayed in her lane, did her little thing, and it was like okay, and I watched the videos of hers that I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
But realistically, like trying to like clear like and clean that up, it's just oof.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a level where I feel like people say that YouTube is getting the views, but it depends on what you're posting.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the old 2016 stuff isn't that's not getting the views, but makeup and which I've talked about this before, makeup and is still getting traction and still does very well.
Right.
Ouch.
Yeah. The makeup ands.
Yep.
Yeah. I have a hard time believing that she'll come back.
Mm-mm.
So.
I don't think her ego could actually take it, and that's not me being mean. I'm being honest. Like my ego wouldn't be able to take it.
Right.
I don't like my ego would, and like I think I have a fairly good ego. My ego would not be able to take coming back and knowing that for a long period of time, I just wouldn't even be able to look at my comments because
Right.
I know how many people would be like, "Are you going to apologize for this? You're stupid. I hate you. You're ugly. You use filters." Da, da, da. Like all that vitriol coming at you every day. That's millions of subscribers. That's
Yeah.
thousands of comments.
Right.
people
Right.
being shitty. So like,
Yep. That's just like we were talking about the Khloe Kardashian thing, you know, and it's like
yes,
while while I understand, you know, she's in the spotlight and she does have millions of fans who do love her, but she's got a bunch of people that do hate her.
yeah,
And so, you know, I couldn't imagine coming online every single day and then, you know, and then seeing that, oh, you are the ugly sisters, you're this, you're that. And I do not feel bad for Khloe in any capacity. So please don't take it as that. But
thank you.
I do think that, yeah, it might start to like, you know, like hurt you and affect you in some kind of way.
Yeah,
So I could only imagine, you know, Tati coming back and trying to, you know, but constantly hearing the same thing over and over and over.
yeah, like
So
over. No, because I mean, because we were talking about Sanders earlier. If y'all go to Sanders' comeback video, I'm gonna say a good 99% of the comments are people being like, "But you didn't apologize." So like, and
Cam,
that's a
hi Cam.
hey. So like that being the case, if you think this through, he's not even anywhere near the size of Tati's channel.
Right.
So just consider that like 99% of those comments are people berating him, telling him you didn't do this, you haven't done that, you are a liar, we hate you, you shouldn't have come back without doing X. Um, that's rough.
Yeah.
So like I couldn't and it's not I'm not saying I don't agree with some of those people, but the vitriol that they like
Yeah.
but I don't everybody says this like we're due for new creators, but nobody comes.
It's not that
We on
nobody
these streets doing
comes.
all this shit, nobody comes.
People don't, but people just don't want to watch, you know? Because I feel like, especially in like our cute little community, I feel like we've gotten a couple of like new ones that pop up every once in a while. But then also, if people aren't watching us, and I hate when people always go, "Oh, you only do it for the views."
Of course I
Yes,
do.
yes.
What else do you doing it
Me,
for? It's not just for my health. Like it's not just because I enjoy it.
right,
Like I mean, I'm not trying to be rude. It's not just because I enjoy it. I do content I enjoy, but
right.
I'm also hoping that people like it. And if I realize like if I do something and I'm like, oh, well, most people didn't like this video, I ain't doing it again.
Exactly, exactly. Exactly. It's just like, yeah, nope, I won't, I just won't do something like this again. But we're constantly, you know, trying new things. But people aren't watching us because YouTube isn't pushing us, you know? And it would be great to have some of these other people to just, you know, yes. See, Cam, and this is the other thing that we always talk about. Like, why do
So
we
pretty.
why do we have these white male YouTubers? First of all, why is a white man the you know the head of the beauty community? Why black women spend
Oh, listen.
the most on cosmetics, and then also like we don't have not one black boy who has over 1 million subscribers. I will not stop saying this. I will never
I know you won't. And you shouldn't.
because it's so frustrating. Like, and then you have people like Cam, and this is how I know that they just aren't messing with us black people, because Cam has been like shouted out by Jeffrey. Jeffrey had like 17, 18 million subscribers at the time. Did any of his subscribers go and watch Cam and go and support Cam? No.
So listen, don't let us get a black YouTube. Don't let us get a black YouTube. Because I mean, because here's the thing, like best kept secret in like commentary in the commentary world is how many of these commentary girls are like stealing it from Black Twitter. Like how like they are on Black Twitter, they are stealing it from Black Twitter, and then they come and they like add their little points to it and seem super intelligent. But like
Yeah.
I know you got that from Black Twitter, and the reason I know you got it from Black Twitter is there's certain things that people say where I'm like, oh no, I saw that tweet.
Yeah.
But they don't say it. They don't even reference the tweet. They don't put up the tweet. I'm like, y'all think you slick. Like, but I see it.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, we watch y'all. steal our content.
Yeah.
Y'all are lurking in our fields,
Yes. Like
taking the.
we don't even get to say our part.
Thank you. We don't get to say shit. Like I'm telling you right now, the white commentary girlies already have all the stuff up about Khloe Kardashian that was on Black Twitter today. Guarantee it.
Oh, absolutely. 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 Cam said he didn't really shout me out. James did more of a shout out for me. It's fine though. I'm going to make it regardless. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And we are going to every step of the way. We are going to be with you. So we know you had your minute, but we welcomed you back. We
I
welcomed
know,
you.
I did. I was like,
Yep.
okay.
Because when
Don't be fooled by my old lady face right now. I'm old
yep.
lady.
That's
But
exactly what they do, Dion. They stay
they
lurking.
stay in our Black business all day. Every
Yep.
day. Like we will never know peace because they will always be in our business. And like while you're trying to put together a well thought out video, they're already out here. Hi.
Right.
So guess what's happening? Bussin'.
Right. It's so
Period poo.
right.
Go off, sis. Like like they will already be in it, flipping their hair, twirling, like whatever it is, and we'll all just have to sit here and be like, okay.
Right. Even though we've said it before and even though it originated on Black Twitter, but sure, go ahead. Go ahead and
Yeah.
do your thing.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, it's because I don't know if we were talking at this time, but I remember when BLM blew up, you know what I mean? When people really understood like that there was a movement that had been going on for multiple years.
yeah.
I remember all of the beauty girlies rushing, all the white beauty girlies rush hashtag black owned brand, hashtag black owned makeup. And I was just like, y'all bitches really just it all has to be you, don't it?
Yeah. 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 They didn't even let Black people, first of all, Black people have been doing Black owned makeup brand videos for years. So there's that. And
Girl, we can't even speak in fucking Black History Month. Like they will not let us have shit. They really both they were like, hi, it's February 1st, Black History Month. I'm like, bitch, I'm here with Black owned brands.
Right.
Like,
And you're like, so okay, it's fine. Oh, yes, Olivia, yes. Yep, because I know y'all remember it. I know you guys remember
yes.
that. It was like, and I've got this from Fenty and I've got this from Pat McGrath.
I was like, bitches,
That
first of
is
all, Fenty isn't Black owned.
right.
Most importantly.
Right. And I'm just like,
Y'all
ugh,
hoes didn't try Mented at all.
they
Like,
didn't
not a
even
one of them
try.
tried Mented. They didn't even try. They were just like, who's got Black people on it? It's Fenton. Pat McGrath. I'm
I'm sorry.
sorry,
I'm
AR.
sorry. But they do. The girls do need to. It's
And it was very interesting to kid, and it will always be interesting to watch this because I like I do not think white people know how to not center themselves in everything. And I'd been talking about this for quite a while. And then I saw somebody did TikTok on it. I was like, from my brain to a TikTok.
right.
Because just the way, like, for instance, on Twitter, Black people will be like, oh, you Black if you eating barbecue in the morning. Now, here's the thing that a lot of the white people do not understand. Where they're like, oh, I must be Black then because of shh, nobody's talking to you. What they're not understanding is there's a lot of subtext underneath. You must be Black if you're eating barbecue in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
We all know you go to the cookout. We all know that you leave the cookout with like 3 days worth of food
Yes.
because everybody made too much damn food. So we all also know that you're going to be eating that food for days. And that's why we have barbecue for breakfast
Correct.
because we're like, I may as well. I'm going to have this. I'm going to warm it up. I mean, they fucking threw their foot off in that shit. I'm going to eat it.
Yep.
So, like, when white people enter, be like, oh, I must be black because I eat barbecue for breakfast. And we're like, no, that's not what we're saying.
No.
And you've missed the whole thing. You literally could have seen it, laughed, and thought like, oh, that like I didn't know that was a black thing, and it's funny. Let people have their spaces
Yeah.
because like you will see it because I'm in Texas. There's a lot of Mexicans here, and Mexicans will be talking about the Mexican experience, and then you just always have a white person who shows up and says like, huh, then I must be Mexican too because and it's like no,
No.
no, this isn't about shh.
This is
We
about
just
them in their spaces.
yes, they cannot allow any of us to have our spaces. And the moment we're having one, they get so upset that they're not invited that they keep trying to find weird ways to invite themselves in and it's like, no, just stay out. Like it's okay to like look at it from
Yeah.
afar.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing about the whole Juvia's Place situation. So
Oof.
Juvia, Chi Chi from Juvia, she basically, first of all, Black people had been writing for Juvia forever. And
Mhm.
because her products are amazing. And then Jeffree Star purchased, you
With
know,
his own
with his own,
creepy money.
right, with his own money. And he did a video, right? And he raved about it. Baby, when they put that thing on Instagram, people were like, take this down. Take this
Mhm.
down. Jeffree has been violently racist to us Black people who have supported you. And then, then she doubled down and blah, 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 blah. And then her and Jackie got into it. And it was just a whole lot.
That was a whole like as the world turns, these are the days of our lives situation.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I'm not going to say like I will never side eye them, but like I feel like they've kind of been down for the cause for, just for a little bit longer than these other people. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I
Yeah.
love that, Olivia.
Yeah, because that's not what it's about. That's just like if a gay Black woman talked about her experience and I was like, yeah, that's just like me. Sure,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you might be Black, but
Well, it's like I
so
had to learn to decenter myself from a conversation that wasn't about me because my
yes.
stupid ass like walked into a conversation about fat people talking about being fat and the discrimination that they get.
And
And
then
of course, my stupid ass like, oh,
skinny
skinny
people.
people. I understand what you're talking about because the skinny person. No, it's not the same. And like they like these folks were kind to me enough to get me to understand that like this wasn't about me. I could make another forum if I wanted to talk about it, like make a whole other post,
Mhm.
talk about it on my own. But what they really taught me was like, yeah, it's two different things. Body shaming is body shaming. It sucks. But people being fat phobic is nowhere near the same as skinny shaming. It's absolutely not. I am a skinny bitch. There's nowhere, it's not the same because the skinny shaming is in as disgusting and gross as it is, it's an aspirational thing. It's a jealousy thing.
Mhm.
Fat shaming is mean and disgust and hate. And
Right.
there's nothing nice about it. There's nobody sitting there like, oh, I just wish I was fat. And that's why being that's not how it works. It's trying
Yeah.
to bully people into feeling bad about themselves
Right.
and trying to hurt people and harm them. And skinny shaming is really, for the most part, just aspirational bullshit, which I'm like, listen, I'm skin and bones except for this gut. I'm swag. I'm skinny with a gut.
And they 100% will. They 100% will. I mean, but that
Yes.
that happens literally in all marginalized groups. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's
Many
all
people will swear they will keep our yeah, but you don't know what it's like to be told to eat a burger. I'm like, bitch, no. I have been at, like I pay attention and I watch people just generally all the time. The way that somebody looks at me if I'm in a restaurant because I have a salad is not the same as they look at someone who is fat in a restaurant because they have a salad. One is, oh, that's why. And then the other is,
right.
good,
This is
good.
honestly, this palette so much.
Yes, it is. I have mine too. I'm like, I've been wearing it, but it's still over here. But like, yes, this is like, I love this.
Yeah.
This is honestly, I feel like their best, like Midas's best collaboration.
Mhm.
I really do feel like it is. And I have the smoky glow one, but I like this one better.
Okay.
Because like this one has shades for like all the shades are for my skin tone.
Every single one. Yep.
Yeah.
People seem to think that bullying is the same as systemic oppression. Yep.
Yep.
Like that's just like when you tell a white person something like, well, you don't know what it's like to be followed in the store. Well, I was followed in the store once. Okay, but tell me more. You were stealing, weren't you? Like you weren't being followed just because of the color of your skin.
Or they'll like drop the tattoos. Well, I have tattoos and like piercings, and like I'm like, okay, those are things you chose.
Right.
I I just need you to understand. I was born like this. I
Right.
was born black. So like
Yeah.
I need you to understand that my black ass was born this way. My black ass is going to die this way. My black ass is going to live this way. So there's nothing that changes that. Like I have tattoos. If I decided that I wanted to wear sleeves and you couldn't see my tattoos, I would, but I'm still black. If you are
Right.
white with tattoos and you're like, oh, I'm going to a place where I don't want people to bother me because of my tattoos, you put your sleeves on and they're like, oh, well, there's just another respectable white person, and you move on about your business.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. Yep.
Casey, for real, there's like a whole crew of these people who literally try to compare the oppression that they receive, the oppression that they
Mhm.
receive based on their appearance to like being people being racist. I'm like, no, baby, it's not because like
Right.
you can dye your green hair back brown,
Right.
you can hide your tattoos. There's like, but you like, and you will be white, but I'm still gonna be black. I'm
Right.
gonna be black tomorrow. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be black the day after that. I'm gonna keep on being black.
And the day
So
after.
it's like, I'm not gonna argue with these people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
Like every single day. It's just because, and here's the thing, generalizations work to a degree. Like there's a reason for generalizations. It's so that you can discuss a topic with a large group of people about a large group of people. But when people are centering it, that's why they start saying things like, not all men, not all white people. And watching white people be like, oh, I'm so ashamed to be white. I'm like, nobody's asking you to be ashamed. Like
Right.
stop doing, like, because again, you're still centering the conversation on you, your whiteness, and instead it feels like it's becoming a conversation about you and your like, oh, I'm so ashamed to be white. Nobody's asking you to be ashamed.
Right.
Talk to your people. Like put that shame to good use. Like talk to your people, get them together. Like I don't need you.
Right.
But here's the thing, Dion, in the white community, red hair is like a different race. The gingers, the gingers are a different race to the whites. This we're learning this. TikTok is teaching us this too. Like
Mhm.
white people, because somebody even said there's a like. Have you seen that one where they talk about a movie trope that I can't unsee? I know this girl was like, "There's always one minority, and there's like always two white girls, and then
And
at least one
one
of the white girls
has
is
red
red
hair.
haired."
Yep.
And now I can't unsee it. Like I was like, girl, show you right. Look at Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
Yep.
Willow, red hair. Like I was like, oh my god. So it's just like, yeah, it doesn't. It doesn't do anything. And I wish more like white people when they're having these conversations just understood like no one's asking you to be ashamed. No
Right.
one's asking you to be sad. No one's asking you to be like,
Just do
I'm so
more.
ashamed of white people right now. I'm like, stop being ashamed of
Yeah.
white people. Like you need to like work to help to change this because we can't do all this on our own. And I mean, honestly, it's weird as shit because watching racism go the way that it goes, here's what kills me. Like, racists are weird as fuck. I'm gonna say it. Racists are super weird because they like anybody who TikTok, Twitter, any social media platform, why are they steady in black people's business? Like, if
Right.
you hate me so much, why are you in my business? Y'all weird. Y'all fans now. That's weird. We're always like, y'all really could have stayed over there and been racist together, but I guess it's no fun if you're not like riling us up.
Right, because we're not getting upset. So then they're
But
like,
here's the thing, we don't even care anymore. I'm like, because, like, if another racist white person tries to be like, huh, whatever, monkey, I'm like, bro, that's a 70-year-old insult. Find some new material. I'm sad for you. How embarrassing. This
right,
is like, you've had all this time to be racist, and this is what you do with it? Your ancestors are not proud of you.
they're not.
They are not proud. Your
They're
racist
not.
ancestors are so mad, and they are turning in their shitty little graves. Like,
Right. Right. Yeah, I feel the same way. Like I'm just numb to it. There's this kid on TikTok. He's an Asian kid, and he's like, I have a question, for my Black brothers and sisters, and he was asking like, how do you guys deal with seeing a Black man getting killed every day? And we're like, oh, well, we're numb to it.
yeah.
We're numb to it.
Yeah, that's why I tell people, I'm like, do us all a favor. If you see something horrible, don't tag us. Thank you.
Please, oh my gosh,
Please stop tagging us. Please stop tagging Black people, Black creators. Be like, oh my God, did you see this horrible thing? Listen, I don't want to. I have my things like set up so that I don't have to continuously see Black people being murdered in the streets. And I'd appreciate it if you just didn't share that with me.
that'd be
I
fantastic.
don't need to see it. I can read the story and like I get the gist of what happened. I don't want to actually see it anymore.
Right, right. Find some new material, snowpots.
Arcina, so don't tell me about your racist uncle who always got something to say
Right.
at family gatherings. I don't want to hear it. Thank y'all.
Right. Yeah, my racist uncle said, I don't care. And what did you say back to him? How about that? Did you say anything back to him? Because if not, then I really don't want to hear about it.
Hey, please stop bringing me like, ugh. Oh, I have
All right,
opinions.
let's hear it. I want to hear your opinion. Me and AR talked about it last week a little bit, but I want to hear what you have to say.
I mean, I'm probably going to get canceled, but Black people will never be free unless they let go of this religion brought to us by the white people. We need to get back on our real religions. I'm so sorry. And I mean, I'm going to say it over and over. I'm getting canceled. I'm losing all my subscribers. It's okay. I'm telling the truth. Let go of the shackles of white Christianity, please.
Right. We will never
We
be.
will never be free.
And then the crazy thing is, like, the point that is being made, like, you guys, well, you know what I mean. They're constantly telling Lil Nas X, oh, you're going to hell. You're going to hell. You're going to hell. So he went to hell and y'all mad.
Baby, I listen. I grew up like so Okinawa, Japan, then my formative years were there, and then high school, whatnot. Abilene, Texas, the buckle of the Bible Belt. Do you know how many people would tell me I was going to hell? And finally I looked at somebody, I was like, well, if you're going to heaven, I damn sure don't want to be there. Then they were mad. And I was like, well, I mean, because you suck. Like, I don't,
Right.
why would I want to go to a place with you and other people like you? That's not a good time for me. Like, I don't understand. Especially here's the thing that I love about Lil Nas X is like he is Black and flamboyantly gay.
Yeah.
And he is Black and flamboyantly gay unapologetically.
Mm-hmm.
And he is in a musical genre that forbids this behavior,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
And that shits on this behavior at every fucking turn. And
Mm-hmm.
I love that he has shown up to the party to be like, yeah, no, because y'all aren't going to sit here and talk about women the way that you talk about women. Y'all aren't going to do all these things and then feel like that's okay. But me talking about like what I want to do with men is disgusting to y'all. No, y'all can't have it one way. And he gonna go like I don't believe in hell like that. So like he's gonna be fine.
Right.
He's spreading good word and I love that. I'm like, you do your thing. And also, listen, that pole dance, baby, if I could hold on to the pole like that,
Right.
do you know how tight my core would be? I wouldn't even
Right.
be swag anymore.
Yes.
Oh, AR.
I'm
I
telling
just
you.
I don't understand. I have been like a pagan of forms for most of my life. I cannot understand allowing the oppressor's religion to oppress us. So
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Like they didn't care. Like it wasn't gay. And like now, granted, we don't know his whatever his sexuality. He could say he's straight, but who truly knows? But it was okay for him to wear a lace front wig, but it's not okay for Lil Nas to just express himself.
No, because he's black.
Yeah.
Black people, because here's one of the other things I really love about this is that, like, once again, exposing racism that people didn't know that they had. Like, black people are not a monolith. We are not one thing. And they
Right.
get so mad when we won't fit into this, like, little box of what black people
And
are.
literally the box is like this tiny.
Thank you.
You know, like you have to be the right body shape. You know, your nose can't be too big, neither can your lips. You
Thank you.
know, like
That's why I
you
don't contour. I'm not trying to make myself look Eurocentric. I'm black.
not at all, not at all. Like you can't speak, ghetto, whatever that means.
Yeah.
You have to speak a certain way. Like I get told all the time, "Oh my god, you sound white. How come you talk like you're white?" Well, I don't know what that means because I don't
I
speak
don't.
like I speak like myself. And
Yeah.
that backhanded compliment, if that's what you want to call it, that's rooted in what? White supremacy.
Racism and white supremacy.
Because
Like,
basically what you're saying is, well, you're black, but you sound like you are intelligent, meaning that, oh, because what? You don't think black people can be inherently smart?
well, it's not just that. It's because they don't, the colonizer mentality never ends. So, in order to get you to fit into what they like, how they can, because they're like, well, you're not being categorically black, you don't have saggy pants, and you're speaking this way, so I've got to categorize you as white, because white supremacy and colonization requires that you eradicate other people's cultures.
Right.
So like they come over and they just eradicate your culture. So like bullshit like calling people Oreos and all of that,
Yeah.
was just like another eradication of night Jeff,
Night, Jeff.
of our blackness. And it allowed for you to have internalized racism and for you to think that you were better than other black people when you were younger because white people accepted you this particular way, even though there was always like a funky feeling to it that you couldn't quite put your finger on it when you were younger, when they would be like, you're just like one of us, like you're just like the whitest the black girl I know, Audra, oh my god. And you're like,
And you're
I
so
don't know why this stings. Like,
like why am I so uncomfortable? Like why
I
does it
know.
make me uncomfortable? It's so weird because like I've dealt with that my entire life, growing up in a predominantly white area, and then where blackness and race just was not spoken on like it is now.
Yes.
And so when I would get told like, "Oh, you're not like those black people," and I'm
I know, you'd be like, what does that mean?
I'm confused.
And at first you were like, yeah, I'm not like those ghetto ass
Yeah,
ghetto. Like you were like Christian Walker. Like, I'm not like those ghetto black people. Look at me. I don't wear my
yes,
nails like that with my booty out. Like I'm good. I'm a good black person. Don't
right.
you ever. Oh, and you getting embarrassed when you saw black people being loud. You're like, oh my God. Also, by
Yes,
the way, we
yes.
aren't the loud ones. We are not. It's white people are loud as fuck. I'm just gonna say white people are really loud. Like so loud. Like you'll be sitting in a restaurant and they're at the table behind you. You hear their entire conversation. I'm gonna tell you right now how many times I've been in places and there's black people. I don't hear shit they're saying until they laugh.
Right, right.
Like they over there like, girl,
Like, oh, okay. I didn't even see you.
yeah. And they're like, ah, and they're like, oh, some shit went down.
Yep.
Listen, I heard like Jennifer's entire conversation. She's about to leave her boyfriend. Like, I didn't even want to know that.
Right. And then you turn
Yeah,
around and be like, girl, Jennifer, I'm glad you left. Have a good night, sis.
thank you. Like,
Yeah.
it's like that whole thing, and there's so many layers to Harry Styles and other straight, like white men
Mm-hmm.
pushing boundaries
Right.
really bothers me in the queer community, in the Black queer community, because it's like, y'all aren't acknowledging who gave you any power to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the thing, you're only normalizing it on straight white men.
Right.
You are still not keeping queer behavior normal. I hope everybody understands that. You are still not keeping queer behavior as normal, because
Right.
now this is a straight aesthetic. It is not for queer people. Okay?
Right.
So it is now a straight aesthetic. It is a straight white male aesthetic. So it's still doing nothing for gay men.
Nothing.
Absolutely
Absolutely
nothing.
nothing. You know,
Like what is it doing? Someone explain. Someone tell me how them wearing this is helping gay men in any way, shape, or form, because it's not.
no. No, it's not. Not at all. That's fine. That's
Because
fine.
you don't have a gay man on the cover of Vogue wearing it.
Right. You a whole straight white man. Like,
Like I'm all I'm asking for is like, okay, well, in any of these magazines, where have I seen a queer man, an actual gay man, wearing this outfit, this getup,
right.
this fit?
Right. They talk so much shit about Billy Porter, and his amazing outfits. And they're,
Man,
I can't believe that's just, first of all, y'all could never, because Billy Porter is that man.
thank you. And see, Allie, yes. Allie said, once he take it for theirs, they gatekeep the fuck out of it. Yeah, as soon as they take
Right.
everybody else's culture, everybody else's customs,
Everybody.
then they just sit there trying to gatekeep y'all. Like, and they're
Right.
like, nope. Oh, you can't tell me this. And like, duh. I can paint my nails. I'm like, nobody's saying that straight men can't paint their nails. But like, y'all don't understand that by painting your nails and wearing pearl necklaces, and wearing dresses and all, like, it's cute. Like, it's cute of you to do that, like, super sexy, like, I'm gonna wear this dress TikTok thing. I've shared a few of them because honestly, it was hot. But like, but the reality of the situation is, I'm like, but the gay men who live their lives every day, they're still marginalized. They are still getting, harmed. It's still not normalized for gay men to dress this way.
Right.
So, like, do y'all not see how this is a problem? Like, y'all are going to be straight men wearing these things.
Yes. And
But if a gay man does it, he's still going to get beat up.
yeah, that's what I was gonna. I was gonna scrutinize, but yes, he will probably get his ass beat. So, so there's that. It's.
Yeah, Billy was fabulous.
I love Billy Porter. I love me some Billy Porter. The way white supremacy is a concentrated education of control. Yeah.
Yes. And it's why you have these people fighting so fucking hard when you were trying to say something to them about, like for instance, fat phobia is rooted in racism. It is rooted in racism against Black women and our curvy bodies. And that's
Mm-hmm.
when they started being like, no, the curvy, sexy body is not the body to have. You can't be fat. It's disgusting. It makes you an animal. You're gross.
Right.
Fat against Black women.
Right.
The idea that Black women are stronger
Mm-hmm.
and don't feel as much pain, rooted in racism, because then white women were out there being like, well, I mean, you say I can't do this, but how come she's out there? Like, oh,
Oh, because yeah.
that's how they're built, though. Like, they're built like animals, and that's why you can't do it, because you are a delicate flower. Boom, problem solved. Like, like all of these things keep getting built this way, and people don't understand it.
I,
And colorism, oh
so
geez,
I saw this great TikTok today, and it was this Black man, and he was talking about, how like Zendaya has life so much easier as a light skinned Black woman, blah blah blah.
mm-hmm.
He was talking about how like, and I didn't know this, but like Zendaya and Meg Thee Stallion are both the same like size.
Yeah, I saw that one. Girl, our For You page is the same.
I know, right? And of course, like, like Meg is a little thicker on the bottom, but like I think he said they have like the same broad shoulders, but how come Meg is the one that gets called the animal?
Mm-hmm.
Zendaya, again, she's part of that box of the Black people that are acceptable.
Yeah, she's light skinned,
And
and
she
this
calls
is
it
like,
out too. She calls it out.
it's very obnoxious to keep watching this happen, to see the disheartening feeling of watching Black men be like, well, Meg's a whole man. I'm like, y'all really fucked up for that. Like, I don't understand. Cause
Me,
like after being married to a colonizer for way too long, I realized I was like, I can't have a relationship with a white person again. And it's nothing rooted in hatred or anything like that. And it's not because of him. It's because after years of all of that, I began to realize I'm like, there are things that they're just never gonna understand.
right,
And I don't know that I'm willing to deal with that. Like, I'm not willing to deal with your racist uncle. I'm not like, if that's supposed to be my life, that I'm supposed to hang out with your racist uncle. No, that's not a
right,
good time for me. I don't want to deal with your like racist family that used to say the end. Like, I don't want to do that anymore. And
yeah,
I'm like, I like, good thing I don't date anymore. But like, I'm just like, yeah, I'll just be single for life because I don't want to.
right,
I don't want to. I think now
exactly.
it's just more than ever watching and seeing the amount of Black men being disrespected by their white wives who are just dropping N bombs at every last turn, and then just being like, well, I can't be racist because in my nika with C's, he's Black, and it was like,
No, no, ma'am, no, ma'am.
I was like, did she just say?
Yeah, that's. Yeah, I don't get it. And okay, that goes along kind of along the lines of that coach. So there's this coach
Mm.
that I want
Yes.
to talk about. Okay, so there's this coach, and he's like the first. He's like the first black head basketball coach at, I think it's like North Carolina State or something like that. And so he gets on this podium and he's just talking, and it was a lovely, lovely speech. And he's
Mm.
talking about how, oh, this is, I feel honored to be the first, African American. And he also kept saying African American, which, like, I'm sorry, say Black. But again, that's not me. Whatever. No, you're good, Dre. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. So he was like, I'm proud to be the first African American man, and I'm also proud of my white wife. Wait,
Wah,
what?
wah, wah.
like
Ooh.
my eyes legitimately like started twitching. Oh, okay, I stand corrected. He's a fourth Black coach, but I was just like, what does that have to do with anything? Why did you have to throw in your white
My
wife?
white wife.
I want my white wife and my biracial kids
My white wife.
that are partly my white wives. I was like, like
That's so sad. He is so lost in the sauce. How did he treat just volunteering information nobody asked for? Like, did they make him be like, when you do your press conference, you must reference your white wife or else we are like, he literally just sat here and was just like, and I'm also proud that my wife is white.
Yeah,
Sir, no one asked.
nobody.
This is a
Like,
press conference about you and how you're going to coach the team to victory, sir. Nobody asked about your white wife or your biracial children, or whether, like, he may as well just shouted, white pride. Like, it was
like,
so weird.
no, at this point he could have just been like, and all lives matter. Like,
Yes.
that's literally what he should have said. Because that's like AR was signaling, like, don't worry, white folks, I'm not that type of Black. I'm in the box. I'm in the box. I'm in the box. You like me.
It's just,
I just,
it is so weird. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
yes, and Olivia, I promise you, he said it just like I did, because I heard about it on TikTok, of course, and I ran to Twitter. And so and so I found the video, and I thought there was going to be like more context. You know what I mean? I thought it was going to be like, I'm proud to be a Black man, and struggling with, I don't know, like struggling with racism and blah blah blah. Like, I thought it was going to be just something different. But nope, he said, I'm
Nope.
proud to be African American, and I'm proud of my white wife. Just like that. And I was like,
And see, like that, like this hits different for me because of my ex-colonizer husband. Well, he's a colonizer ex-husband. Let me just put that in the right direction.
Right.
Because the amount of times that this liberal man would use me and his arguments just because he wanted to be right. Like it didn't matter. Because he was one of those weirdos who liked to get in these like ridiculous online internet fights. He would be fighting people on Facebook for hours. I was like, get another hobby. But like every time he had to start arguing about racism, it wasn't long before he was like, well, what do you want me to do? I have a black wife. And I was like, do you? I don't even like being here. Like,
Right.
I'm like, if I could have afforded to leave, I would have left a long
A
time ago.
long
So
time
you
ago.
can have these arguments with like yourself because it's really annoying. And he's like, well, baby, I can't just let people talk to you like this. I'm like, but they're not talking to me, and
Right.
nobody asked you to get involved in this conversation. Like, I just wanted to ride motorcycles with him. We were having a good time riding motorcycles. The fact that he would always like bring it up all the time, like the Confederate flags that people had, like on the. I'm like, listen, you're either gonna ride or you're not.
Right.
So, like, I don't want you to argue with people and be shitty and make this like an awkward situation for me because I'm one of the only brown people here. There's like me and another brown guy, or we don't ride with them because that would actually make me more comfortable and
Right.
we have fun and don't have to do this every time. But you consistently and constantly put me in like uncomfortable. Yes, they really do. And it was just I spent a long time being uncomfortable. And it wasn't until like I got out of that I started realizing how much internalized racism that I had. And
Yeah.
I started just peeling that back. Now my mommy calls me her little militant. So like my mama's like, look at her, my little militant. Look at her.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? I think that's why I now go so hard is because of all the internalized racism that I dealt with as
Yes.
a child growing up. I remember like, I had to make sure my hair was done. My hair could
Mm-hmm.
never be nappy. My hair, I could,
Thank you.
like, and just looking back, and I'm just like, I just feel sorry for like my 8, 9, 10-year-old self.
Yeah.
Like, I did not love myself the way that I should have. And I know it's not because of where I grew up, but it's in the media, and then our parents were at that age where they were literally forced to assimilate,
Yes.
and so they're just trying to make it so that their kid will be welcomed. And I mean, now granted, our parents were also part of segregation, so
Thank you.
so they do
My
know
mom went to a
racism.
school that was recently desegregated, like when she was young.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
when my mom like randomly dropped that bit of like, yeah, and then so when I went to this grade, they were desegregated. I'm like, I'm sorry, what, mom?
Yeah.
Like I understood the timeline, right?
Right.
But like I didn't understand that my mom was on that timeline, if that
Right.
makes
Right.
sense.
Right. She's like,
So it just really
I was born this year and this is when it happened. You're like, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. And she's like, so I was there. Oh, okay. Now I get
yeah.
it. And this is in Cam, this is exactly it. Because that's why a lot of us have the internalized racism because of the media and society.
Yes. Because
Because
they pushed what's an acceptable black person
uh-huh.
versus an unacceptable. So a black person going like, girl, and a black person doing any kind of movement,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
bad black person,
Yeah.
gross,
Yeah. And
disgusting,
it's
go
ghetto.
away.
Yeah.
They are ghetto. They are obviously from the hood
Yeah.
and they must deal drugs or do drugs.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
So it was like either the Cosbys or Boys in the Hood. Like that's
Right.
all you had.
Yeah. Right. And like, okay, so like Fresh Prince, like now I feel like that kind of like teetered on like because Will came from, West Philadelphia and he came into this conservative household. But a lot
Yes.
of the things that Will said, like there's still some episodes. I mean, and I'm talking this from 1990 that
Yeah.
still ring true today.
Yeah.
But white people didn't watch those shows. I mean, they watched Fresh Prince and they watched Cosby Show, but they weren't watching like a different world,
Well, they didn't get it though.
And
That's the problem is white people, even if they watch it, they don't get it. It's just like white people listening to hip hop. They don't get it. They will show up and they will listen to hip hop and they will think that they know it. And it's like, it's not, no, you don't know.
yeah,
You're not truly understanding what this is about. Please stop calling Eminem the GOAT. Thank you. But like,
right.
because that's not gonna sit well with me. But like,
That's the one. That's the one. That is the one.
yeah.
When he was like, Carlton, keep your hands on the steering wheel, and he's like, how you doing, officer? And it was like, put your hands on the steering wheel. Like,
Yes.
and Will was telling Carlton all these things, and then Carlton was just like, well, it's not because I'm black. Guess it is. That's exactly
Like,
why.
Sir. And like this is like the like, and I don't think people understand how much like 2020 like broke a lot of black people in ways that people will never understand. Like this is why I'm telling people that it's 2021. We know that these things are happening. Please stop sending torture porn to us, please. Because
Yes.
what you don't understand is how many of us had incidents that happened to us over our lifetime with police that we shoved down and put somewhere.
Yeah.
We like memories that we had locked the fuck away because we knew it was bad. We
Yeah.
remembered like having police profile and push and shove and be shitty to us for one reason or another. We hadn't done a damn thing. They were just like, where are you going? Where are you headed? What are you doing? And you just interrogated, being pulled over for no reason. Many black people have locked that shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't hide it somewhere, if you don't put it in like the deep recesses of your mind, we knew we were going to be walking around angry.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
we're like, I don't want to walk around angry every day of my life.
Right.
And that, again, that's another way that white supremacy gets a hold of you because it forces you to like shove the harm that's been done to you to the back and then be the person be like, I mean, I'm not going to assume that I didn't get the raise because I'm black. I'm gonna think that like this person has been with the company longer than me.
Right.
Like,
Right. Yeah, Nathan, I read the book. I refuse to watch the movie.
mm-hmm.
I think it's a great book, but also here's the thing, like I feel like it's a great book for white people to read.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of these things and read a lot of them because it's not for us. Like that is the thing.
Right.
These movies and book like it's not for us.
Mm-hmm.
Like even Antebellum, not for us.
Right.
But like even Get Out, people didn't understand. Like white people didn't. Like white people missed all of the context of it. It flew right the fuck over their heads.
They completely missed it. But you know what? But that movie was for us because
that was for us.
Yes. But what was that one movie? I talk about it, well, not all the time, but it's if I would have known the way that it ended, I would Queen and Slim.
Yeah. I knew not to watch that. I knew as soon as I saw that, I was like, I'm not watching it.
When I tell you, because I went and watched it in the movie theaters, I'm pretty sure the whole audience went, what the fuck? Like collectively, out loud.
Listen, I absolutely, I am on a like, I would rather watch the like movies that I've seen over and over again. I'd rather keep going back 20 years and doing all this because I'm tired of like black torture porn. Like I can't do it. I'm tired. I cannot keep watching these movies where the entire story is racism. Where like every time the black people show up in the show, it's about racism. I'm gonna need y'all to like really figure out how to can we just be regular people?
Right.
Can we just be regular people in the story, just doing regular people shit? That's why I like horror.
Marseille Martin, the little young girl, she's like a producer. She put out a statement on Instagram and she's like, we're definitely not doing black trauma porn, basically. She's like, we're not doing that. So I can't wait to see what it is that she's going to provide.
Yeah.
So, and
what happened to the holiday? Remember, like girls' trip? Where did that go for us?
Yeah.
We were like having a good time with Black movies. Deliver Us from Eva, still one of my all-time
Yeah.
favorites.
How Stella got her groove back.
Thank you. And then it just devolved. It because here's what happened. As soon as a Black movie is popular, they're like, "Ah, oh, they like it. Let's make it, but more racist." Like,
right. Okay. So Olivia, okay, that just came out like what, this week?
oh, I knew not to watch that.
It's called Then, right?
I cannot remember with the is it the creepy show with the is it creepy? Is it scary? Where
Yeah,
like their neighbors are fucking weird and shit?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I ain't watching that.
Yeah, it's creepy. And then they've got the white neighbors that, yeah, like, I'll
Mhm.
probably give in and watch it and talk
Nope.
about it on my channel, but I don't know. I'd have to watch. I don't know.
Baby, I didn't give in and watch Bridgerton at all. I was like, I ain't
Oh, I
watching it.
haven't watched that either.
And people were like, "You're not gonna watch it?" I'm like, "They ain't no like, listen, I'm not watching Mandingo bullshit play out again. That's all it is." Like, I listen, you know what I'm talking about. Like, that's exactly like Black Stud with the lily white flower. I ain't playing these games no more.
Ali said it's terrible.
Yeah. I won't do it. It's the same way they recently had a movie that was aimed at the like I want to say the Mexican or Latino because I'm not sure where they were using
Uh-huh.
but aimed at that community because basically it's like rich white people, I guess, who like force immigrants like they have these immigrants working for them, and since they're legal immigrants, they like have them living under the ground or something. I think it's like Beneath Us or something like that. I can't remember, but I knew as soon as I saw that, I was like, yeah, I ain't watching that shit.
Mm.
I'm like, we don't want to see ourselves being subjugated at every turn. Do y'all mind having a story about us being great?
Right. Okay. I can tell you, Bad Hair. Bad Hair was, I mean, god awful. It was, but I laughed the entire time because of how it was just so stupid. It was so stupid.
You know what I miss?
I
Pootie
love
Tang.
Secure. I love,
Remember Pootie Tang?
yeah, yes, not Pootie Tang.
I fucking love Pootie Tang. The way his like brain like hit the bullet. Witching. I loved that so much. Like I loved when we just had like Black people having fun stories or like the fun Black exploitation movies that were a good time.
Yeah, yeah.
It just, you know,
I don't know, but I like Insecure. Number one is Issa Rae, and number two, like that's one of those shows where like, okay, that is Black excellence. Like if you want to know how Black people act and talk, that's the show that you want to watch.
yeah.
You know, and yes, Cam, 1000%, I agree. They should watch it so to humanize us because like I said, they always have like that trope. It's always the loud fat Black girl, or you know, or like the guy that's a thug, or a you know, hey boo.
Hi Tina. Mwah!
And so you know, it's just, you know, things like that. It's always like just some stupid trope. But if you watch Insecure, like that's Black people shit.
I
That's
know.
Black people shit. So
Yeah, it's like when you're watching the
fair enough. Fair enough.
and Shadowless. Yes, because it brings that because I can't make the
Oh.
word. It does. It constantly brings that like because if you look at any show, you'll have a darker skinned Black man with a slim, small, lily white woman. You can even look at the remake of Othello, with Mekhi Phifer
Mhm.
and Julia Stiles.
Julia
She's,
Stiles.
slim and like pie face, just like I'm just little Julia Stiles, and he's like, oh, I'm Mekhi Phifer, and and then you look at what happens when the man is white. Whoo! That changes. She better be like, if she is dark skinned, that's a problem.
Yeah.
And we
Oh,
saw that
look,
happen on The
Lupita could
Flash.
never. Lupita Nyong'o could never.
Thank you.
Could
Because
never.
like look what they did to that character from The Flash. She was the main character. But because her skin was too dark,
Right. Right.
her skin was too dark. That nobody minds. Did you say no? Yes.
The King Kong chick. And you know what? You know who else we just need to boycott is
Who?
fucking Tyler Perry. Can we
Let
not?
Tyler Perry rot.
Can can we not? Because first of all, if you've seen one movie, you've seen them all. Secondly, his plays are much better. But like it's always the dark skinned black man is always the evil one. And then it's the little light skinned Shamar Moore with that disgusting wig that wants to come and rescue, said black woman. But it said black woman can't be too dark.
Yeah. Arcena said, I want a black Sex in the City. I do too, but not toxic.
Yeah.
Because actual Sex in the City is hella toxic. That is
Did
the worst friendship I've ever seen next to Friends. No, just kidding. I'm I like to post. No, it's a terrible friendship. If you actually go look at it, like how often they like left each other for men and how like their entire friendship was centered around men. Whew. And it was like supposed to be friends, like, and how much slut shaming they did. It was rough.
Oh, got it. I feel like that's how
Yeah.
Girlfriends was. Girlfriends is kind of like the Sex in the City for black women. Itch.
Yeah. No, and here's the thing, Joshua Jackson, chocolate black woman, and also looks so happy. He's like,
I know. I know. I know.
and not like that creepy, like, I got one way, but like a,
Yeah.
can you believe me? I'm Joshua fucking Jackson.
Right? He proud of his woman. He proud of her. I am just like, I like that. Like for some reason, it just like it doesn't hit as like this weird fetish type couple.
It
Like,
doesn't feel creepy. That's all. It doesn't feel creepy.
yeah. Yeah.
At
No,
all.
there Cam, his movies aren't god awful because I've seen a majority of them. And I do like the one ooh, what is it when she beats him with the
You can
belt?
stand by yourself.
Is it?
Listen, you think on it. I'm gonna grab me a beer. I just made up those words. Don't pay attention. I don't watch Tyler Perry. Don't come for me on making it up.
I think that might be it. Was it I Can Do Bad All By Myself? When she was like, and I'm not mad, I'm angry. Was that the one? I don't know. All his movies run together. But my favorite one is when she beat the mess out of that man in the shower. I do like that movie. I do like that movie. So yeah. And then also, yeah. See, okay, Nessa. So we're here. We're here. Oh, that's it, Dre. Yes, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Thank you. That's the one. That's the one. Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Thank you. I told all of them kind of run together. They kind of all run together in my head, but that's fine. That's fine. And yes, and nothing improves. Like, can he hire just one wig person, please? Wait, you're muted.
All Tyler Perry movies go like this. I'm saying you can't just treat me like this. I can do what I want. You are my woman. Like had wigs bound. She's like, I had to kill him. Like ugly black woman crying. You know what I'm talking about? She's like,
Yes, yes.
I had to kill him. Like looking like fucking Skeletor. I'm like, God damn. Can we like not also pretty cry? Like why we gotta ugly cry? I
Right.
swear he probably looks at them and says, like, you don't look ugly enough. I need you to look ugly while you cry. And it's like Tyler Perry, and a bunch of other black actors. Tyler Perry's movie. Like
Right. And Drake, that's why. I'm glad because she did. She had every right to beat that man. The one movie that I didn't like was the one with was it Journey Smollett? And she had I think she had HIV or something like that.
Mm.
That one
Girls? Is that the one that you're talking about? Because Cameron's regular. I didn't watch that. See, listen, I don't watch. I try not to watch Tyler Perry movies, y'all, because I know I'm gonna get mad.
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna get mad, and I don't like to be mad. So, like, I just
Thank you, Charlie. Acrimony. Oh my God, that was a terrible movie. Ah.
listen. And these weren't even Tyler Perry movies. These were like, them stupid ass books by Steve Harvey. I just want to punch him in his big teeth. Um, um,
Why is he?
uh,
Why is he making books for women about
he
relationships?
did.
And while
Yes.
he's cheating on his wife, like those,
Listen,
he's giving me very Derek Jackson vibes. Like,
Steve Harvey, like, because what were those movies called? Like, do y'all remember? And it was like, it was something about like women figuring out how to get the rules. Oh, for frick's sake, how's my brain not work? How is this a thing for me?
well, when you got two people who have ADHD,
I know, and I'm just like,
and it was a long time ago.
it had like that little dude from Entourage in it who would never ever in real life be like anywhere near being worthy of Gabrielle Union, and he's like dating her in the movie. Think like a woman, act like a man. Thank you, Dre.
Yeah, the movie wasn't the movie though. Act like a man or something. Wasn't that
I
the movie?
that's yeah. Think like I
Yeah.
can't remember.
And how come they always got to be fat at the beginning? Like, why do they always have to be fat? They always have to be fat, and then they lose the weight, and then all of a sudden they're more desirable.
Because that's the only way that women become desirable.
God.
Which, listen, this is why I stopped dating men. Period. Like, sir, you do not get to dig. Because here's the thing: I have never once dated a woman and had her be like, you know what? You just got to put women in their place. I'm like,
Right?
like men are obsessed. Straight
What?
men are obsessed with putting women in their place.
I
They
know.
are obsessed with like showing who's boss. I'm like, please stop.
Right. Lovecraft Country on HBO is good. Okay, I'll put it in my. Well, it doesn't. HBO doesn't have a thing like Netflix does, so I always just be like writing stuff down.
I know I do too, because I'm honestly right now, I'm just waiting for Mortal Kombat. I am not kidding.
Oh, is that what it is? I
Yeah.
don't even know it's kind of, that's a thing.
Yeah, I'm Mortal Kombat. The movie's coming out, and Sub-Zero, my bae, is going to be in there. Like Sub-Zero is my bae.
Oh, there it is.
I love Sub-Zero.
And yes, Jill Scott is desirable, period. Um, I've seen a couple of them, but I mostly see them in like stitches and duets
Mhm.
because my FYP, like I'm actually kind of obsessed with it. Like
Me too.
so my For You page now, again, because of the way that my brain works, it's literally so many different things. So I've got like old mom wine drinker TikTok. I've got makeup TikTok. I've got LGBTQ TikTok. I've got deaf TikTok. I've got
Yes.
ADHD. Like I've literally got it all. And so when so like when I'm going through, usually it's like, and because of the way that TikTok works, it's usually an overly woke white person talking about, those people, but whatever.
Yes, I love Sub-Zero. Sub-Zero is the shiznit. I actually like there's so many weird little subplots with Sub-Zero that I started like looking into, and there's like original Sub-Zero, and like it's a whole mess. AR, you're really gonna lose your mind when you found out I used to go to college and party with McCod Brooks. And I could not stand him because he was so full of himself. But I mean, you know what? It turns out he was right. He just believed in himself.
I am a Scorpio.
Taurus. But I don't let everybody see like the whole like because my chart is actually a whole ass mess.
Yeah.
My full chart, I'm like, oh, nobody look at that. Don't look at the Aries, Leo, and Scorpio and Gemini in that bitch, okay? Leave me alone.
I know my other two big ones. I think one is Leo, and I think the other one is Scorpio as well. But yeah. Hey.
Hey.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah. Um, what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about Tyler Perry and we were talking about Steve Harvey. Um,
Yeah.
I just look.
The re I just went to college with him. I used to party. We used to go to like parties together, whatever. We went to USC together. I also went with the famous Jet Jackson, may he rest in peace, though he didn't want to be called that at the time.
Oh, that bless his heart, man. That was so long ago,
Yeah, Lee.
so long ago. And I remember my best friend was obsessed with him, and then
He was really nice. He was an actual genuine kind soul.
was he?
Yeah. And
Oh,
it was like he was so nice because like he was like, just don't call me the famous Jet Jackson. Like, and I was like,
you know what? I bet you he didn't want to be called that because um he was a childhood actor. Like that's who he played as a kid, and he probably had terrible memories of that.
well, and he was still doing it, I think, at the time, because Jet Jackson was on for a little while, and then he moved from that into an adult series, and then like that's where,
Got it.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, that was really sad.
Well, see, Lee was just such a beautiful, like, it's weird how many like random celebrities that I ran into. Cause like I didn't run into like huge celebrities, in LA. Like I ran into the guy like Austin Pack who plays Austin on Days of Our Lives, and I harassed him because he was a dick. Like we because we were in a shoe store and he was just being an asshole, and I knew he was being an asshole because he was like walking around with these like trying on some flip flops, and he was like, or some sandals or something. He was like, I don't know, these leak a lot, and I just seen him kind of like like just not being very polite to the woman, and so like who was helping him, and so he kind of turned and looked at him. And was like, maybe if you picked up your feet, they wouldn't squeak so bad. And everybody's like looking at me, and I'm like, what? Fuck that guy! Like I don't care.
He's
And then like
human.
I'm at a frat party, like asking this, like just it's a white guy. I'm like, hi, and I'm just like, I'm sorry, I recognize you from something. And he's like, because I was like, do you go here? Like, what are you a part of this frat? And he's like, no. And he was like being like super snotty about it. And so I'm like, okay. I'm like, so you're not in this frat? Like, do you go to the school? He's like, no. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to bother you, but it's gonna, because I have ADHD. At the time, I didn't know that, but I'm like, it's gonna bother me if I can't figure out why I know your face. He's like, I'm on MTV's Spider Games. And I was like, oh, like, because I've seen that show. And I was like, I would not admit that to anyone, sir. I couldn't. I was like, y'all go look at, if you have time, like, you go look
I
up
don't remember that.
Spider Game. It was a horrible soap opera on MTV. It did not last long. For him to be saying that out loud, I was like,
Like with his whole chest.
yes. I was like, go sit down. Go sit down.
Yeah,
No
no.
one needs to know that about you.
Right. Like that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing.
That's very embarrassing. I would never. I would be like, as it was so awkward because he just, as soon as he said that, I was just like, oh, like, and he saw my face go to disgust, so he was like, he couldn't believe that I wasn't like, oh my god, you're a celebrity. I was like, oh, I've seen that
Oh,
show, not good. Like,
yeah. You know what, Cam? We we're not the best. We're not the best. Scorpios are not the
thank
best.
you, Cam.
It's fine. It's fine. I get it. I had to break the shackles of me being that that Scorpio. But we're
See,
not
okay, I found it. It was so old and so terrible. It was like this awful soap opera. It was like, look, yo, I think your friend Sheldon was on it. Sheldon from that show everybody liked. This was like, but this is Spider Games. This
okay.
was a whole shitty show. Oh my god, I cannot believe I'm finding like my old pictures here. There's so many actresses that like I've seen in other stuff. Wow, wow, media was poorly photographed then though. And it's this white guy here. and I can't get a better, clear picture. But like I see him now, and I'm like, it's that guy, and he was very unattractive.
Right.
I just wasn't. It's just weird. It's LA is a weird place, and I think that people think that like you see like oodles of salute, but it's like no. A lot of times you just see like I saw Gary Sinise, and a lot of the celebrities there will give you like especially when they're with their family. They give you the like I would like when you recognize them, and then they give you the like, please don't do anything weird because I'm here with my family. I don't want this to be strange. And you're like,
Uh-huh.
I got you. And like it's like 3 seconds like of communication that's happening
Really?
of you guys.
Okay, never mind then. I got it.
And everybody gets it. So that's how I saw Gary Sinise, and he had a shit ton of kids.
Oh, okay.
I was like, wow, look at all them children. Oh, really?
Really? I love that. I love that. I've met a few famous people here and there. My birthday is the day before his, or the day
Are you
after,
serious? No.
the day before his. But we were born in different years, but only by a year.
Is he like 1,000 years older than you, or? Oh, I'm sorry. Was that rude? Listen, evil does bad things for you. I'm sorry, Cherita.
No,
I'm
that's
sorry.
just how you know what? That's like whenever I see an older, well, not even when I see a person and they look old for their age, I assume the worst of them. I
I
assume
do.
they're a bad person.
Yeah.
I truly, truly do.
Because like you have to, like you're wearing your evil.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
like, see, this is why I don't tell anybody because my sun is in Taurus, my moon is in Scorpio, my Mars is in Leo, my Mercury is in Aries, my Venus is in Gemini, and my rising is Virgo. See how messy that is?
You are all over the place.
Uh-huh.
You are literally all over the place.
But a lot of it's very fiery.
Yeah, yeah.
But the placement actually changes it
Ah, okay,
though.
these story
Ooh,
times, like, wait.
a story time. I was in the set of the barbershop.
Right? That's dope. The set of the bar.
Story time in honor of the now past DMX.
Uh-huh.
I was at this bar. I can't remember you know the bar on Sunset? I can never remember it. But anyway, there's this bar on Sunset. And we used to get mimosas there and all this shit. But we were going, and I went one night, and DMX was there.
Ugh.
And this like large bodyguard was like, I guess he thought I was fly or whatever, was like trying to hit on me. And it was like, I could help you to meet DMX. I'm like, sir, I'm not doing that though. It is not your size. That is the problem. It's that like I just would rather not have the story be told that I
Correct.
did
Correct.
this to meet that. So I was like, but it was so crazy to me at the time because I didn't realize, like, for some reason I thought DMX was so tall and he really wasn't that tall. So
Yeah.
it's just like, all the barking.
Yeah. Right.
And I just love it. And so like all day, I'd be like, if you want to come and get it, all you got to do is sit. Like I've been doing that all day ever since I found out that I was like, DMX. So I've been having
Yeah.
just all
Yeah,
day.
I know. That was really sad. And I'm tired of people, like, of course, people are gonna like then try to villainize him because he was an addict, but people don't even know his story. They don't even know how he
Listen,
did.
mm-mm.
And even if he tried, even if he did it on his addiction is still addiction.
Yeah.
You know? Um, it's really sad. And
Well, and
so,
somebody brought up earlier, like how people are like trying to like, oh, y'all are like fuck Prince Philip, but like, lifting. I'm like, listen, Prince Philip was like an entire racist. One, two, the man was a zombie. Can we all just agree that there was like zombies are real and he was one?
right.
Y'all can't tell me that you didn't think like when that picture surfaced and we all saw him like we were
Yeah.
none of us we
But
were all like Jesus. Like I was sitting there, I'm pagan and I'm sitting there be like Jesus help. Like
right. Literally, it was like, ah, oh, okay.
no.
And then people,
I'm sitting
and
here
then,
like y'all need to call on your Lord and get this handled because this ain't okay. You should not.
Please. People were like talking about the way that he looked, and everybody was like, "What do you expect? He's 99." And then when he died, and then they were like, "Oh, it's all Meghan Markle's fault." No, he was 99. Like, what do you mean?
See, here's the thing. What do you expect? He was 99. I don't know, Betty White. Fuck you. Every time somebody tries to say that about some angry old racist
Right.
piece of shit person,
And
I was
wasn't
like, what do
this
you expect? They were this age. I'm like, I don't know. That's not going to sit right with me because there's plenty of white people who have lived great, good lives without
yes,
hatred in them, and they're like spry and living a good life. So you cannot tell
yes.
me like Tiara City was propped up by wires and batteries. I am undone.
I can't. No, okay, but like this is really hurting my heart. Not Ice Cube being 5'1".
You're only 4'2".
Shut up. If we ever met, I would be so upset. I would be so upset. Now I'm glad. Now I'm glad that I know. Now I'm glad that I
Now
know.
you sound like that girl who was like, who was like, I don't want to meet Meg the Stallion because she'd be like, yeah, throw it back, white girl. And I'd be like, I can't, Meg. I'm sorry. I can't. Like it was just like the conviction she had where she's like, and I'd have to be like, I can't, Meg. I'm sorry.
I'm 4'11", Dre. I'm 4'11".
I keep like I will destroy her height. I will take inches off every chance I get just because I'm 5'8".
Right.
But I do it to Jen too because I think Jen is like 5'5",
Okay.
5 because she'll be like, I'm not short. And I'm like, Jen, do you have stools in your house to stand on to open cabinets? And she's like, first of all,
Wait, ask AR about this. About my step stool. That's the first thing I bought when I bought my house. Was a step stool.
yeah. She legit she'll keep going like, I'm not that short, Audra. I'm like, but you are. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I've never needed a step stool to open any of my cabinets and reach in there and grab stuff.
She's like, we're not also related here in this chat. Okay. Okay, so wait a second. About your daddy looking like Ice Cube. Is your dad married?
Yeah.
Just asking for a friend. Nolani, just asking for a friend.
No, listen. Do you know what's interesting is like I've been watching like not even purposefully, but for some reason on Tubi, like all these Elliot Page movies are showing up.
Uh-huh.
Um, and so like Flatliners came back on, and it's very interesting because I think, and I hope this doesn't come off as insensitive in any way to anyone. I was not particularly surprised when they were like, "Oh, I'm Elliot Page now. I'm coming out," and I was like, "Okay." I think because subconsciously to me, their mannerisms and the way, like, I just, and I've been like this for a while. I've had friends who've done the same thing. Their children
Mhm.
have come out and been like, now my son is being as Axel now. And it was just easy. I saw it in the pictures. And I just, from the moment I saw, like, I don't know what it is that I see, but from the moment I saw it, I was like, all right, well, he's looking cute. And like, it never occurred to me. And then they said something and they're like, oh, my son is now this. My son is. And I was like, oh, I just always saw him as a he.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's
like it just never, like, every time this, so far in my life, every time this has happened, I have never been surprised. And it's not the like, oh, I just knew. It's just there was something that I saw in the photo where I was like, oh. And then I like, from that point on, I always thought of them as whatever gender.
yeah.
And then it never occurred to me, night. And then when they do come out, I'm like, and like I sit there for a while trying to be like, doing calculations of, I'm like, weren't they always?
Right.
Like, because
Right.
like when that happened, I was like,
You're like, I kind of always
I thought that that was always the thing. Like, and I didn't know. Like when Lance, like even Lance came out, and I was like, wait,
Oh, yeah,
everybody. I was like, I thought he had already.
yeah.
Am I the only one? I don't know. I just spend my. I feel like, and it's not because I'm like staring at somebody like, oh, they must be gay. It's just like my mind, I guess, processes something, and I just decide that, like, I'm like, that's what it is, and then I just go on. And
It's your superpower. Your
my
superpower,
superpower is gender and like
right?
gender identifying. It
Nessa,
just doesn't.
am I standing up right now? She has.
Listen, listen.
Okay.
Yes, she is.
I see Cedric the Entertainer being short, but not Ice Cube.
You know what though? All the people he's been in, like the women, have been short women.
Yeah, that and you know who else does that? Is freaking Ludacris because Ludacris is
Yep.
short.
Ludacris is short, and we
Mhm.
didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know. Ludacris
He
is
was like
short.
Luda,
Yeah.
and like he got that big fro trying to hide it. Because here's the thing: everybody has learned from Tom Cruise. Listen, say
Yes.
what you will about Tom Cruise, but what everybody learned is camera angles.
Yes.
Because after Cocktail, Tom Cruise was never seen, even in the movie, to be shorter than his romantic partner.
Mm-hmm.
And here's like, and you're
And
gonna go, no, Audra, he wasn't. No, he's not shorter than Elizabeth Shue, but the rich lady in there, because I don't know why they listen. That's a whole other stream to talk about the weird fetish that people have for like the way white men, like loser men always write men getting a sugar mama. And this is like, there's several movies that have done this. Cocktail is one. There's another one called Aspen Extreme, because I watch a lot of weird movies, but they always paint these like loser ass men as like like they do some unorthodox job. For
mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise, it was bartender. Aspen Extreme, it was ski instructor. And then they find like this perfect apple pie woman,
Right.
right?
Right.
But you know what? She can't hand them their dreams. The rich old lady can. And she is older. And then she's like cougaring. Anyway, I've like gone places. The point is, the cougar lady in Cocktail is seen as taller than him. From that point forward, he does not. He does not. Yeah, Tom Cruise would not have been clocked if he didn't marry Nicole Kidman, but
Right.
always notice how they stood.
Yeah. Yeah. That's trash. That is so trash, and I'm so sorry that happened to
I'm
you.
sorry.
But like, not yeah, I know now. Get out of my hat. All right, sure, sure. I think Luda is
Yeah, Luda's like 5'6". I think
like
so.
5'5", 5'6".
Yeah.
That other man, that other little short, crusty, dusty, nappy headed man, he's short too. The other one from Atlanta, and
Nelly?
the one with the wife that look. Never mind. Let me know. I'm not going to talk about the way she looks.
Yeah.
Ti.
Oh, T.I. is like 3 feet tall. T.I. is a 3 foot tall troll. Mm-mm. He's like, I said you can have whatever you
She
like.
got it.
Fuck you,
Yeah.
T.I. We
That,
cannot stand T.I.
what?
Ugh.
Yep. See, they knew. Yeah, because he's this big. He's so tiny.
Of course he's tiny. Isn't it ironic that his wife is called Tiny?
They're all. Mm-mm.
I know. I feel like that's gonna be his next job. They're gonna have him play that garden gnome in the commercial.
Look.
I just like, here's the thing. I never understood why like everybody, because like here's the thing. I I just always found like chocolate men to be like, if I was looking at men, it was chocolate men where I was like, ugh. Like Mackay Pfeiffer was, I was like, Tay Diggs, I was like, T.I., I was like, I don't know, like, I guess.
I guess. I guess. Life's
Like, I don't even know what's happening with all of that mess, and I try not to look at it because.
You know what? I haven't seen anything in a while, to be completely honest. But they did pull their show. Apparently, they had a show. I didn't know they had a show. I didn't know they had
I think they did. Ti and Tiny, I think,
Yeah.
was. Who was watching that?
I don't know.
I need to know more about people who are like Tom. Listen, Tom Cruise just gets all wackadoodle, right? The only time his wackadoodle has been fun is when he like flipped out because people weren't wearing a mask on set, and that was it. I was like, yes, Tom Cruise, beat, like, do it. Like, but otherwise,
Not 5'8".
yeah, he is not 5'8". He put that out himself.
Yeah.
He put that out himself. That, like, you know what that reminds me of? T.I. saying that he's 5'8" reminds me of my mom asking me how my dog was yelping. Mind you, I was like a toddler at the time. But when my dog was yelping because there's clothespin on his little balls, and she was like, "Who did that?" And I said, "He did it to himself." Obviously, that's not possible.
You mean he doesn't have thumbs?
Correct. Just like T.I. is not 5'8". Like, sir, we know you put that in your bio. You can even tell on IMDb who wrote their own bios.
Right.
Ooh.
I cannot. Like, I'm tired of these. Ugh. And then, did you see that statement that Diddy had put out?
Listen, Diddy needs to shut the fuck up with his bug face ass. He needs to stop because, like, Diddy just be ruining everybody's career. He ruined everybody's career that he touched. The only one who got out unscathed was Mary J. Like, everybody.
Every group.
Yeah.
Every group because I'm trying to. Okay, I think I saved it. But what did he say? Basically, he was talking about how they're like corporations are ruining America and
like his goofy ass in a whole ass
corporation.
Thank you.
You are a corporation, Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy Dog, whatever your name is.
He changed his name so many times. It was like Puff. Now it's Puff Daddy. Now it's P. Now it's P Diddy. Now it's just Diddy. Now it's just D. What the hell? Listen. Like, because Danity Kane was lit.
Danity Kane, best
Sleep on it.
Girl group.
Sleep on it.
Best girl group. We in the car. We rock
stars. We doing things that boys don't do.
Oh, poor Nathan. Okay, so Nathan, when Diddy came out, he was Puff Daddy. Then I think he went to Puffy. I think he was Puffy.
Yeah, I think he went to Puffy.
Yeah. And then he went to P. Diddy. Then he went to It.
I'm still live streaming, Mom.
Oh, hi, Mom.
What music noise? Oh, do you have somebody playing music in your apartment? They're being loud, Ma? Oh, if it's at the place, they stop at 11, Mom. All right, bye. I'm so sorry, y'all.
No, that's fine.
My mom calls. I'm gonna answer. I don't care. I'm so sorry.
Like, do not apologize.
I'm like, I need to talk to my mom.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally everything. I'm just looking up something real quick.
See, here's the problem with Danity Kane. Here's what went wrong: is Diddy and all of them started gassing up Aubrey. And what's her face? The two girls in the front started gassing the two and like kind of having them compete against each other, which is what causes like weird competitive mode between them. And they didn't need to have that like at all. They were working together and they were having a good time. And then it was just like, yeah, it was Sean Diddy Combs at one point.
Oh, it was
right, Katie Pines.
Yes. Yep, it sure was.
He had so many names.
Yes.
Like, he really did. He was reinventing himself every time some allegation came. up or somebody else around him got murdered. That is terrible to say, but also true.
It was Aubrey and Dawn, and was it D Woods too?
Yes, Aubrey, Dawn, D Woods, but it was the other girl with the brown hair that was like I don't know if she was white or Latina.
Andrea. I'm looking.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was like a battle. Because here was the thing. I think Andrea or whatever, she was the better singer. She was a better singer than Aubrey.
Yes.
And because Aubrey, like, let's like, okay, I like Aubrey. Okay, I like Aubrey O'Day. I like her swag. I like how she was just like, what? But let's be real. She was not a good singer and she was chosen because she looked good. She was like an okay singer. She wasn't the best singer.
Right.
And Diddy did that. Like he chose her because he knew she was attractive. But like doing that was really actually kind of fucked up if you think about it logistically and logically because it just like really like messed up like the dynamic because he knew what he wanted her there for and she didn't know that she was there for that. And I
Right.
think it would be different if she had known. If she was like, okay, I'm just here
Yeah.
because I'm pretty. Like I don't sing well. Like if that would be fine. I think most people, if at least if you knew, like you would handle that, you
Right.
know? But if you don't know that like that's why you're there, then it sucks.
Then it right. Right. And I'm sure like she obviously thinks she's a good singer, you know?
Yeah. I'm like,
She,
ugh.
she thinks she is, but probably because other people told her that
Well,
she
people
was.
gassed her up and made her think she was good at this thing. And like, that's fine. Like, y'all do you, but like, she's not. She's not. She's not good. She's
Yeah.
okay. Like, she was trying to have her little solo career. It wasn't a good plan. You know what I mean? That's
Right.
okay. Like everybody ain't meant to be a solo artist. Everybody can't be Beyonce. Some of y'all have to be Kelly, and that's fine. I ain't shitting on Kelly. I'm just saying, like you can't all be the same level. It's fine.
You can't. Somebody does have to be Michelle even. Like, come on.
Thank you. Somebody has to be Michelle. Oh, do not get me started on PCD, okay? Because the way Nicole Scherzinger can we also just talk about how they tried to market her like so racially ambiguous and it's like
Right.
Scherzinger is not okay, but fine.
It's fine.
Um, I hated how like they would call it PCD, but like literally every video was her being like, and it was
Every
always just like her making that face, like, and it'd be like, they'd be like, I know you want it. She'd be like, her like attitude stank face, you know what I'm talking about? Y'all know what I'm talking about,
yes.
like every time. And she was always like whipping her hair around, and she'd be like, like, see, this is
Oh,
this
you
is
gotta
the
tag
problem.
me in that, Dion.
Ooh, was she? See, Nicole, there were just things about Nicole. She just got on my nerves. I just feel like she just really felt herself to a point where I was like, you feeling yourself too hard for someone who can't actually sing that good. Because the other girls are killing it. Like
Right.
like no tea, no shade. The other girls are killing
Not Nicole in the background dancers.
because like somebody had put up that that video where like they were doing a live and the other girl had enough and was like, I'm a shine now.
Right, right.
And like, was the note a little flat? Yes, it's a live performance, but you could see that she was like, it's not going to be about Nicole today.
Yeah.
They really did.
Right, right. And Fergie did not just.
Oh,
I'm
God.
surprised they still play the national anthem at this point. Like, I think at this point in time, I think as a society, we don't need anybody else to sing the national anthem. They just need to put Whitney's version in and press play and then
Thank you.
done with
Just
it.
let it go. Because the way that Fergie, like y'all, Fergie legit was out there thinking that she was looking cute. She was like, "I- we want ooh, We're like, bitch, we don't know.
It was the basketball players for me. It was
Thank
the
you.
basketball because they were like,
They were like, It was just the way she was like seriously holding on to the mic when she was like, "Him." We're like, is she okay? Like, somebody call her. Like, did she just recently get divorced? Because
like something. Yeah, like listen, because I mean, the basketball, they're just kind of like, oh.
the way that they were trying so hard to hold it in, and I said, "Girl, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell you this, but you don't. The national anthem doesn't get remixed, okay? It doesn't matter what country it's for. You
Right.
just don't. You
Like
just
I said,
don't remix
just,
it."
no,
And
just
you were trying
kidding.
to. She tried to turn the national anthem into a 20s jazz tune. And we're all just looking at her like, is she okay? Can she just sing the song and we play the game and move on? Like she's really out here trying to make it something different and unique. Like, no, that's why you made Fergalicious and that weird milk titty song. Like, leave us alone. And I love Fergalicious.
I mean, she did get in her little rap, you know. Everybody was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, okay." But then it's just
Did you see the
like,
chaotic noises? The most chaotic noises Fergie has ever made thread. Oh my god. It's amazing if you haven't
I have
seen
not
it.
seen it. I cannot wait.
Oh my god, you've got to. I don't know how to find this kind of shit, and I'll see if I can figure out how to find it. Fergie's most chaotic noises.
Love it.
Uh,
Love it. I love it already.
like it's just an entire thread. Baby, you just farted. Are you okay? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can find it for y'all because that shit was so funny. And I was dead ass. Like I lost it because there were so many.
I'm sure. I'm sure. I know.
Mm.
Bo.
He is. He's back there
Yep. With his
being
sweet,
a
sweet.
whole ass mess.
Embarrassing, it doesn't even begin, Dre. Like,
It was so.
who did that? Who peed her pants on stage? Who did that?
No, Fergie did pee on stage, but you know what? So did Shirley from Garbage. She also peed on stage. A lot of people, well, she did that on purpose. But like, she would often pee on purpose on stage
Oh,
because she was
okay.
like, she was a bad bitch. She just did that. It was
Got
the
it. So it's
90s rock.
like in between
Shirley Manson.
sets or something. I mean, the show
Yeah, I
must
think.
go on. The show must go on.
I mean, I don't care about the peeing because everybody's gonna piss themselves at some point or another. These are facts. Um, everybody's gonna run into a pissy situation.
I cannot. I
I
cannot.
listen. I'm looking for it right now. That's why I'm like looking down because I'm like, oh, I gotta find her because I want to send it to you so I don't forget. So the
Okay,
ADHD doesn't like
of course.
the secondhand embarrassment. It's yeah, it's from Ryan Carlos. The most chaotic sounds that Fergie has ever made. I am retweeting it right now with a
Yes.
quote, and I'm putting you in it.
Perfect. Perfect. So you guys have to go to my Twitter to go see this.
I can't believe you didn't see this. Like that thing is
I love
there's so many like and it's literally just her like be like and the thing is you have to pay attention to the fact that he spells out the noise.
that's even better. That's even better.
So it's like destructive. It's very good time.
It
Yeah,
sounds
oh my god, I forgot she peed. I don't know why, but that makes me laugh. Like, oh my god, I forgot she peed. I'm like
I I don't even know if I knew that happened. Maybe, I don't know.
yeah, I knew about her like I know that like there's still people to this day that believe Courtney Love killed Kurt. I still don't. Um
Mm,
I still don't. Because she
that's
would be
in,
fine. She would be fine if she had gotten what she wanted. So I was like, she didn't. She
so
broke after that.
Yeah. So
I'm
you
like
think,
removing my nails as we speak, y'all. Don't get mad.
oh, that's fine. So you think he did it?
I mean, I feel like it was a weird time. I think even if she did it, wasn't on purpose.
Got it.
Like, I would think that what she was probably most likely trying to do was snatch it from him. And
Mm,
then, like, things went awry. But, like,
got it.
he just, like, ugh.
That's sad. That because
Oh,
didn't he fall into the 27? The
27
27?
Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Which, by the way, people didn't call it that until Hackers. Just want everybody to know.
Oh, of course
The
not.
movie, the movie Hackers, which had Matthew Lillard in it, who has also been done dirty in various ways. Angelina Jolie, Johnny Lee Miller, uh, uh, Lorraine Bracco's in that thing too. But that's he actually like Matthew Lillard is the one who does it because he talks about the club and like he has made a mixtape of them and like the whole thing. So nobody was really talking about that regularly until
Mhm.
that movie came out and he's like, all artists who died at the and he like even talks about like choked on their own vomit. Like it's a whole thing. He has a whole like it's funny.
Yeah. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out.
But like I feel like the 90s was just such a weird and fantastic time
Yeah.
that I got to like live through and like I'm so sad about like I just
That we're not
cuz
in the 90s anymore.
cuz here's the thing. Here's why I'm pissed. Here's why I'm pissed.
Okay.
I get mad whenever they revamp a show and it doesn't work out. Like Beverly Hills 90210, Charmed, like all this shit. Melrose Place I think they even tried to do. Here's why it bothers me. It's cuz people will be like, "Well, it's not for you." I'm like, "Yes it is. Yes it is for me." And I'm going to tell you right now why exactly it's for me. Because if they didn't want it to be for me, they wouldn't have named it Charmed.
Right.
They knew who it was for. They knew that there's a whole bunch of people who have watched Charmed. They knew that there was an entire group of people who watched the show. If you just wanted a show about three witches who were not white, then call it something else.
Right. But not Charmed.
Because I tried to watch the new Charmed and it's hot garbage. And it's not hot garbage because it's there because they made all of them Latina. It's not hot garbage because everybody's light skinned. It's not hot garbage because someone's a lesbian. It's hot garbage because there is no fucking sisterhood. And the whole thing about Charmed that was phenomenal was that like you could always see them growing and coming together as sisters. And you would see like the magic grow and like them learning to deal with magic and all of these things as sisters. In
Yeah.
this shitty reboot, Cherita, when I tell you they're just like, oh, looks like we're magic witches now, like cool, and like that's it.
Yeah.
Like there isn't
That's
any build up, there isn't, and then they just know how to handle their powers. Arsena, we are okay. You're my people. You're my people. No one likes Brenda the way I like. Brenda is my bitch. I love Brenda. I love Shannon Doherty. I had a huge crush on Shannon Doherty. I wanted to like. I had a song. I made a song. I let me see if I still remember. I was like, I want to be like Shannon Doherty. Like I had a whole song. I loved Shannon Doherty and I loved Brenda. Well, you know, I see. I'm not even looking into. I wanted to be excited about the Gossip Girl, but then I remembered how many times I've been done dirty, and now I'm not excited because
yeah.
it's just like they did it every time they do this. I'm just like, call the show another name.
Right. Right.
Just call it another name. Yes, they are sisters without chemistry, and they like are always hiding things from each other. There's no there just isn't any build up to them being witches and to them having good familial bonds. You
Yeah.
don't see it and it's like they're trying to force even the two that have grown up together. You just don't see any familial like good familial bonds to make you be like this is family.
Hmm.
And so it's just super awkward and I don't feel like they understand what they messed up and like that's the other thing. You're going to call it Charmed, but you're going to make no mention of the Hallowells.
Make it
And then
make
you're
sense.
going to tell me that this show isn't for me.
Right.
You're gonna be like, oh, it's not for you. It's for the
Right.
new younger viewers. And I'm like, then
They
don't call it fucking
yeah,
Charmed.
because they made other new shows like I like you don't see a lot of cartoons being revamped, you know. They just make new cartoons.
And if they do, they just call it like they just add to it. It's like Scooby Doo and the House of such and such. Scooby Doo
What?
is this. Scooby Doo does this. Scooby Doo, like they just
That's
keep
just
kind of moving that.
that's just like so Miles loves Teen Titans Go. That was but it was first Teen Titans. Then they
Yeah,
just added the Go
Teen
to it.
Titans Go, and then they made like the live action Titans. Which y'all listen, I don't know what happens with my ADHD at all. I watched the entire first season. I kind of know what happened there. Then I watched the entire second season, and I have no idea what
No
happened.
clue.
I don't know. At the end there it was just like, oh, they're all in their super suits. I have no idea how we got here. Like boy, um cats. Okay, first of
I
all,
didn't watch it.
why did you because I just want you to know that first, like Cats, the musical is also already terrible.
Okay, does anybody watch Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt?
No, I still don't. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my gosh. Okay, so there's a whole explanation on Cats the musical and it is the funniest bit. So basically Titus takes his little class to go watch Cats and he's just like this is so dumb. This is so stupid. Yada yada yada, right? And he goes, I bet you I could put on a costume and I could go in and, you know, and be part of the show or whatever. So that's exactly what he did. So during the, yes. So during the, what is it called? The halftime? I'm a sports person. Sorry. During the halftime, they go and Titus gets dressed up and then he jumps on stage and he's like dancing and singing the songs and da da da. And at the end, when they all go backstage, the guy was like, "You finally figured out the secret. Like this is how we all got in the show. We just randomly walked up on stage." And I was just like, "That yeah, the intermission. Yeah, you know what I meant."
Intermission.
I said
You
halftime.
said halftime. Who's been out here calling intermission halftime? Then during the halftime.
Sorry, I like sports. I can't help it.
Yeah, I like sports too. No, just kidding. I like hockey, but I like
Yep.
rugby too.
Nope. I know nothing about those two sports.
I like weird sports.
That's
Because
not.
like hockey is really intense. Hockey is a very intense sport and it's super fun to see live.
Football is my absolute favorite. I'll watch it at home. I'll watch it on the plane. I'll watch it in person. Basketball, I don't watch it at home, but I'll watch it in person. Baseball, definitely don't watch it at home, but I will watch it in person.
I will not watch baseball in any way, shape, or form. It's so boring.
But see,
It's very boring.
when you go to the games, they have beer.
Yeah, no, I don't give a fuck. It's like
That's
1,000
why I.
degrees here. It's
Oh,
1,000 degrees here. You know what I don't want to do is like get drunk on beer when it's 110 outside. That's a horrible.
that is
I
also.
can't even begin to tell you how awful that is. You get really drunk and really hot all at the same time, and you just keep drinking because it's hot, and then you're just like, yeah, we got to go because I'm gonna throw up. Like.
She said, "Ain't football hockey on skates."
It's more like lacrosse and like rugby
Rugby.
on
Yeah.
skates. Yeah.
So.
And those dudes are hella like they are really tough.
Yeah.
Like one of my favorite stories of all time is like Paul Korea was playing at a game. This is way old. He played for the Ducks and like you saw him get like you can see it on like they showed it him getting hit in the boot by the puck, right? And he just kept going, kept playing. The end of the game, they end up having to cut his boot off because they like that puck came at him at like 100 miles an hour,
Uh-huh.
broke his fucking ankle, and he just kept playing. And like, and the thing was, he knew that it wasn't good because he went in after one of the periods, I think it was second period, and was like, yeah, don't take my boot off. Like, he just
Yeah.
had them like sharpen his skate really well while
Yeah.
it was on his foot because he knew once they took it off, they wouldn't be able to get it
Get it
back
back
on, and then
on.
everybody know it was broken. He wouldn't be able to finish the game.
Oh wow.
So like he finished the game, and then they had to cut it off to get the boot off of him. Like, jeez.
Yes.
I just like I like there's an amount of dedication that I just wouldn't have because like this is also why I won't survive a horror film, because like I have weak ass ankles. They just crack under like the slightest amount of pressure. So it's like some like serial killers like chasing me, and I start running. I'm like, listen, son, I'm not gonna run anymore. My ankles can't handle it. You can just kill me now. Like he got me looking at me like I'm not having a good time. Like
I watched Bitcoin.
But yeah, it was like, see, I loved Piper. We out here talking about like,
500 different things. It's
I
fine.
know, I love it, but like, I know that's Charmed. I
Yeah.
love like when Piper was like grieving and like, oh my God, especially when they became goddesses and she was like taking down like everything because she was like the goddess of the earth because she was like the most grounded and she was sobbing and like there were storms everywhere because Leo was not her maid. They wouldn't let her have. And then when they brought Paige, listen, I really didn't know that I was gonna like Paige because I was like, no, I don't. Mm-mm. And then I liked Paige.
And then you did.
I
And then
liked her. I try not to compare Prue and Paige though, because honestly, if you get into this comparison thing, like one, you got to know one longer than the other. Let's be real.
mm.
Oh
I don't even remember Charmed like that.
my God, I remember so much about Charmed because like Goofy Bits that was in that show everybody liked with Sheldon, who I can't remember the name of the show, but I keep saying Sheldon.
What, Sheldon Cooper from Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, there we go. But she was in Charmed.
Which
Like
one?
the blonde chick,
Penny?
Haley Cuoco.
Yeah. Oh, I need to watch that show. I heard it's really good. Her little airplane show.
What?
Yeah, she's got a show. It's maybe on HBO, and it's like a psychological thriller.
Oh, I don't like her acting.
Uh,
I'm gonna be like I did like that was like so when she was on Charmed, I didn't like her there, and I was very annoyed by her being there. I was like, why is she on my show? Like, what is the point of her and her character?
oh, then you really would not have liked her in Big Bang.
No, I just don't like her as an actress. Period. I find her annoying, but like I think she's probably a great person. I just don't like her style of acting.
Got it. Yeah, because yeah.
Yes, like their mom, like the whole thing is just like I don't know. I feel like the reboot of Charmed was so horrifically done, and I honestly feel like because they didn't want to pay homage to the Hallowell sisters, they wanted to like revamp it. And like I've said this multiple times, like there was really no reason to make them Latinx at all if they were just gonna all be light skinned. If they were all gonna be light skinned sisters, and like guess what? Guess what? Let's make it even more fun. Does one of them have a dark skinned boyfriend? Yes. Does he sacrifice himself and fucking die as all dark skins do in this kind of thing? Yes, he does. So like so it like there's so much stuff where I'm like, there was no reason to even bother with
Mm.
revamping this and being like, oh, it's gonna be more modern and more feminist. It was like I don't think shows really understand what feminism is anyway, because they just take weird talking. It's literally like they take weird Twitter conversations and like make that into dialogue. And they're like, yes, this is gonna get the girlies in the his house, right, guys? Yes. And then they're like high-fiving each other. So
Not to his house.
yes, the his house. So it was just like really awkward to me that they just like I was just like, then if y'all were gonna make it this messy, you should have just brought back like the Hallowell descendants, which were boys, by the way.
Huh.
Um, So like bring back the Halliwell descendants, like just leave it then. If you're gonna, again, if you're just going to have light skin, because that's not helping anybody who is of any Latin descent. Like it's
Right.
not helping them to only see, again, light skin representation. Three sisters, and they don't even all have the same daddy.
Mm.
And you gonna tell me that they all came out light skinned? I ain't never.
Never.
I ain't never
Never.
in my life seen that happen.
Mm-mm. See, and that's why they just need to leave the originals alone. Just
Yeah.
let it be. Just
Yeah,
let
they're
it
like
be.
rehashing these stories, but doing it poorly. And I
Yeah.
watched all of it. Like, I feel like there were and I was just like, this isn't, it's just like, here's the thing. I feel like they're trying to repackage the entire series of Charmed in a couple of seasons of this new Charmed. And it's very weird to watch because you're like, y'all really could have just like made a whole new story, but you're just, I don't understand what you're doing here.
Right.
Yeah, it doesn't do anything. I don't understand where they do it. Like, thank you, Dre. I don't understand why they couldn't do their kids. Nope, nope, nope. You can't come up here. Nope, nope. We're not gonna argue.
Just a big baby.
We're not gonna argue. Get on your side. Sir. No, you can't fit in my lap.
Doesn't he weigh more than you?
No,
Oh.
damn. He's only 86 pounds. He weighs more than you, though. You weren't ready for that, were you, short stuff?
Well, he's just a big dog. Or maybe he just looks big to me because I'm so little.
He is big. My mom says it too. My mom's like, oh my God, he's so big. He's 86 pounds. I mean, that's not a small dog.
No. No, not at all. No, that's not a small dog.
Yeah, I don't understand, like, because I said this on some TikTok. I was saying in a comment, and I was like, you can see directly where the erasure of all the rest of like Black people, Latins, it like because this is how white supremacy works in television. Every time a new race comes along, they will like slowly eradicate the other one and make it lighter.
Right,
So
right.
they'll like make it lighter, and a lot. No, you're not gonna get all the attention. You're not. This isn't gonna get on your bed. Get up here. But they'll slowly erase everybody else. So and then like stop, like they will finally stop making like this group be the butt of the joke. So for a long time, like Black people were the butt of the joke, and then it's like they start like being taken seriously. Like this is the cycle. They're the butt of the joke, start getting taken seriously, start leading, and then they're like, oh, we've got the new minority. Who is it this time? It's
Right.
Latin folks. All right, great.
Okay. Yep.
So then they bring in Latin people, and then like Black people start. So if you haven't noticed, like when's the last time you've really seen dark skinned Black people on mainstream shows?
I mean, you don't. Literally
Yeah.
ever. Ever.
Like what
You just don't. It just doesn't happen. And
yeah.
even like, but also like colorism hits all minority groups, right?
It does.
So, you don't when do you see like dark Asians, you
Thank
know,
you.
and dark Latinos?
You do not.
You don't. You don't. And it's all rooted in white supremacy and racism. Love
And
it.
the reason that this becomes so important is because like say what we want to say, but like our television does impact the television that they see in their own countries, right? So if our television is constantly touting whiteness or proximity to whiteness as the thing, then it's going to happen everywhere else, that's going to continue to be the what is seen. If
Right.
you don't change it, then we're just always going to see this like weird watered, because like it's very recently that we are seeing like South Asians and Southeast Asians as sexy and not at like especially like deeper brown Asians and
Right.
not as like the 7-Eleven guy. And
Right.
that's really recent. That's like within the last
Very,
3 years that they've changed
very.
that.
Mm-hmm.
So like and that's why I keep trying to, I'm like, y'all pay attention to this because this was a very long, like a long time coming where they were constantly making the brown Asian look like, uneducated, thick accent,
That,
had to have a very thick accent, had to either be like just completely unable to speak to a woman and be confused, like, oh, I don't know how you speak to women, huh? Like weird,
yeah,
like that was always their whole thing. um and it's a clownish behavior when like that's not how people are. It's a complete disgusting misrepresentation, and so it's like hard for people to feel sexy.
right.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing is people truly just don't know the difference between ethnicities. Like, and I can only imagine how frustrating that is for brown people, you
Well,
know?
all you have to do is ask somebody.
Right,
If it's really to where a thing where you're like, I'm not asking you this to be rude, but like I'm curious
right,
because I can tell that you are Asian, and like where are you, like where's your family from? Like
right.
you can even say that.
Don't, but please, for the love of God, what are you?
Yeah, what
Don't,
are you is okay.
don't.
Like just being able to differentiate, because I feel like so many people like just everybody thinks that everyone who is Asian looking in any way like, oh, Chinese. And you're like, wow.
That's that. Okay, great, got it.
Wow.
Right. Can you imagine? Okay, again, I saw a TikTok today, and it was this visibly Asian woman. She's Asian American, and she was talking about her like I'm sure it was just a parody, but it was her going to like an audition, and it's like oh can you read this line? So she read it in her regular voice. And then the guy goes, "What? Excuse me, can you read it in an accent? Like
Hmm.
use. I think he said, I don't know if it was yours or use. I'm gonna say yours. Use your accent or use an accent." So then she went to this horribly British accent, and
Yeah.
and then he goes, no, 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 your natural accent. So then she goes into this hillbilly accent, and the guy is like, what? And she goes, I'm from Texas. You said my natural accent.
Yeah.
Like if you want, and I first of all, I don't even know why accents fucking matter.
Because the only way to make a racism funny is using people's accents. Like you can, because here's the thing: if you like go look at any movie or television show that had a minority on it, especially an Asian minority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, take the things that they said or did, and then like just read it. Just read the lines.
Yeah,
And if you read the lines without the accent, it's usually racist, homophobic, sexist, creeptastic. Like it's somehow very upsetting. Like the
yeah,
things that they say are genuine. Like if you go look at Fez, even, and where was Fez from? We don't know. That's they did that on purpose, like making him
yeah.
ambiguous. But if you go look at the stuff he said on that 70s show, a lot of it was really fucked up, like not good stuff to say out loud. Like, but it
Right.
was acceptable
Because
because
of his accent.
yeah. So they use these fake like the Shadowless would say stereotypical accents to excuse this like behavior and belittling these people or making them seem stupid
Right. Right.
and like allowing them to be the voice of things that you shouldn't say. So they have them being the voice of saying something transphobic or homophobic, but like I didn't even know what I'm doing because like I'm not from this country sort of way.
Yeah. 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 Just stupid. Just dumb. Anything for like and like I thought we were past all this. Like I thought we were smarter.
Mm-mm. Like the way that we like it's just we see it so often and we get numb to it, I guess, in a lot of ways where we
Maybe that's
don't
what it is.
realize that we're making these people the joke. And
Mm,
then like the same thing happens with black people where like it's like, oh, you have to be urban. And you're like, what is urban?
Right.
Like,
Please tell me what urban means. I mean, we know that's slang for N-word.
I know, right? Like,
But
well, we're looking for a more urban flavor. I'm like, what do you mean by urban?
yeah, yeah.
Like, well,
And
just, you know, urban. Like,
they do the little they do the little dance. Urban, and you're like, "Do I?
no.
Do I?" Because I want you to explain that to me.
Yeah, because like, so I did theater, right? And a lot of Black people who did theater can probably attest to how difficult it was in the majority of PWIs, predominantly white institutions, to get any good part in a
Yeah.
musical because those musicals aren't about or for us.
Right. None of them
So
are.
like, so like, I mean, that's why I guess that what that Hamilton play was such a big deal. But like,
Rosie Perez, really?
really? You know what? I had a love-hate relationship with Rosie Perez because I felt like she couldn't I feel like her career got stunted because she was probably tired of having to play this like very New York Latina like attitude. Like I feel like she was very tired of doing because everything that she was in, she had to play that character.
She had to play the spicy Latina
Yes, every
every
time.
time.
She was not allowed to be anything other than that.
Right.
And so it was like actually cool as shit. Like that's one thing I did like about seeing Birds of Prey was that it was cool as shit to see Rosie Perez come back and not have to like she got to just play like a person, a human being. And I
Yeah.
was really happy about that of seeing her in those lights. Whenever I get to see Rosie Perez in something where she's not having to play some like
Yeah.
you know, because it's like, and here's the thing. I think the thing that people don't understand is we're not saying that these folks don't exist, but like it's very exaggerated the way that they're portrayed, and
Yeah.
then you're trying to portray the entire. So, and I don't think what people get, especially being in America, is like the concept of melting pot makes people like which doesn't exist, by the way. There's not a melting pot. This is a stew. This is a stew. It's not a melting pot, and all of the fucking ingredients are individual. You can taste the carrots over here. You can taste the potato right here, and the beef. It's a stew, not a melting pot. But I feel like there's so many people who grew up here seeing that as, um, oh no, people do like Americans have no idea, Serena. Like no idea.
Nope.
All brown people are the same.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they don't even understand like who's wearing a hijab and why. They just like they automatically someone's covered up that automatically must mean terrorism and you're like no. Indians and Iranians aren't Arabs. Like yeah, yes, that's a big one. That Sheiks aren't Muslims.
Yes.
Like people do not understand the difference between them.
No.
And
No.
like don't bother to look. Like that's what kills me. Like I'm always so interested because I was wondering because I've seen people and I was like, well, what is that? So I go look it up. Like I don't know why people just like don't get curious and look things
Google
up.
is
Like
free. Google is free. Google is
yeah,
free.
I like Americans do think Africa is a country and it's super sad.
They
They're
think
like,
it's
well,
a whole
where
ass
do
country.
people come from? I'm like, listen, sir, if y'all want to pay my way, I'm happy to go. But also, y'all just gonna come bother us.
The first time.
Like we will try like we would leave, but y'all be right there. Just like
Right.
them commenters be lurking at Black Twitter. Y'all be there coming to get us.
Right. Right. Oh my gosh. Oh my.
Listen.
I hate this is the thing that I hate the most. Oh my god, you speak Mexican?
Yeah.
What? What? Like, are you actually dumb? You have to be dumb. You have to be dumb.
And
Mexican.
here's the thing is like it feels like people don't even understand like where you are in the States. might correlate more to where people are from. So like if you see someone Latino in Florida, it's more likely that they're Cubano. See, like
Cuban,
so
yeah. Hmm.
you're gonna say that, but you don't have to choose. Like you don't, but you're no like a more like. And as you, here's the fun part: the further up you move, the less likely that they're from Mexico. A lot of times it's El Salvador, like it's all these other places, Dominica. So they think that everyone is like everyone who speaks Mexican, and you're like, it's
No, no. But then they get mad when you go. It reminds me of Clueless when she was like, Lucy, can you tell whatever? I'm pretty sure his name was Jose because, of course, his name was Jose. Can you tell Jose to something, something? And she goes, he's your gardener. Why don't you tell him? She goes, you know, I don't speak Mexican. And Lucy was like, I am not a Mexican. And
oh
then,
yeah, include
Josh, Paul Rudd is like, no, Cher's like, what's that about? And he goes, she's from El Salvador. That's a whole different country.
yeah.
And and she's like, so what does that matter? And he goes, you think people you get mad when people think you live below sunset? Like, like don't tell like a white person who is like, I don't know, German. Don't call them Irish. Don't do that. But they can't tell the difference between somebody's from El Salvador or Cuba or Mexico or what, like.
5 actors that look exactly the same. They are the same man. You cannot convince me otherwise. And they will tell us we look the same. I'm like, I'm looking at pictures of y'all side by side by side.
And I have no
Y'all the
idea. I have
same.
no idea. And yeah, for them to say that all black people or all brown people look, no. And also if you think they do, then maybe you need to surround yourself around more black and brown people.
Yeah. See, yeah, Elisa's said Miami is Cuban, Orlando is Puerto Rican, and Colombian and Guatemalan, and everything in between is literally all in between Orlando and
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I know living in California, and I live in Northern California, but still I live in California. Majority are going to be from Mexico.
Yeah, because we just know here, like in Texas, I think people get used to the idea that it's Mexicans because Mexico's right there, but it's not. And then like we have actually a large population of Puerto Ricans here as well. So it's like people just don't I just don't even like you can tell by features as well. Like I feel like people just don't even like look at somebody. Like I just feel like people just don't look at people.
Right.
The features are different just from place to place.
Yeah.
Like
What?
even like the hair textures are different. And so it's just like I'm like, I don't I generally just don't understand like how they can have like Bella Thorne and all the rest of the Bella Thorns and tell me because I'm like, you can't tell me that that's not the same actress as this, like they're all the same person, and you're gonna like argue with me and be like, no, like she's beautiful, stunning, great. I'm like, I don't know what you mean. I've seen her before, like she's existed. I'm so weird, like she's existed.
Yes. And diversity is a wonderful, wonderful, beautiful thing.
It is. I wish like more like places took it seriously and not as a like we've got to get our token in so people don't argue with us or whatever or think that we're not diverse.
Right.
You're a diversity poster, have a good day, and you're like shit.
Devin, you're
Yep,
right. You're 100% right. And it's actually really sad.
I know.
We don't like that. We don't like that. Just like that man that I talked about last week, where he was like the guy from The Bachelor, when he's like, I have to make sure that like I put on my best face because I might be the only black person they see.
No, sir. Are you okay?
What do you
Blink if
mean?
you get to rescue you.
Right. Right.
Like, see, and here's the other reason. I'm gonna like I probably have to take him out, but like he's sleeping, but I know he's gotta do his like his
Yeah.
last one. But I did want to tell you all this, like another reason why I was like, yeah, I don't think I'll be in a relationship with someone non-person of color because
Mm.
anyone can tell you, I think a lot of people can, especially if you are a woman. If you are dating someone who is melanin challenged, you have to keep track of every motherfucking bruise on your body. If anything should happen where you have to go to the hospital, I am not kidding. It's super awkward. And they're always just like, are they hurting you? Is your spouse hurting you? Like, no. They're like, you can tell me if they are. You're like, no, I fell. Oh, you fell. Like, I did fall. And they're
I
like,
fell down.
he's hurting you. Blink. And now you're like,
Right. You're like, can I blink now? Because my eyes are drying out.
I know you're like, it is a whole thing. And I don't think enough people realize like that's shit you don't think about. And there's like other things that you don't think about. Like every time the fucking tab comes, like the ticket comes for dinner or whatever, and
They,
they're always like, it's gonna be together or separate. And you're like, I'm wearing a whole wedding ring.
right.
And he is wearing a whole wedding ring. Yeah, I don't like it either. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like Latinx is just it's another form of trying to group brown people together as one thing. And it's why like I am black and then there are people from Africa that are African Americans.
And that's why I
Why
don't use that word. That's why
yeah.
that's what I was talking about earlier when I was talking about the coach when he was like, I'm African American and I'm proud of my white line. And I'm like, but aren't you black? Like,
Yeah,
I don't
because
know.
the whole intent there is to be able to like continue to erase us. So
Yeah,
by simply saying Latinx, and this is just my opinion, I'm not Latinx, but you are also agreeing. By saying Latinx, it's a good way to be able to erase all of the varying cultures and traditions, like you're saying.
correct.
It's a good way to erase all of it by just calling everyone Latinx.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Because it's like, because you're taking away from, like you said, literally all the cultures. And so
Yeah,
also here's the thing is like, because you can ask a white person, like, what's your nationality, what's your heritage? And they're like, well, I'm 35% Greek, I'm 15% Swedish, like they can be able to break it down.
yeah,
Um, for the most of us, especially if we were born, like outside of Africa, we don't know where we come from. So that's
yeah,
why we are black.
yeah,
Whereas somebody who's literally like Jackie Aina, she's Nigerian American. She's from Nigeria. Like she knows her Nigerian roots, but she's also from America. So like I feel like Jackie could be somebody who can be considered African American. I mean, and
yeah,
again, also I'm not here to speak for her.
yeah,
She's Nigerian. She knows where she's from. I do not know where I'm from. Therefore, I am black. And then
yeah,
you got the Latinos who they might be from Mexico or Cuba or, like they know where they're from. So stop. And then, yeah, like Egyptian, like Moroccan, Libya, those are all places in Africa,
yeah.
you know?
Well, it's just weird because people I don't know. I think that people really want to be able to like just gloss over the whole thing and make it go away.
Mhm.
And it's not like that's not how it works. That's not how you solve problems. Like you don't solve it by saying, "Oh, well, it was a long time ago." And you're like, "It's I just want y'all to know that slavery and segregation were like more than half of this country being here." So
Right.
like all of that
It
all of that shit together is more than half of the country's age. So
Yeah,
like it wasn't as long ago as we'd like to believe.
exactly. Right. And I know that my ancestry, it will most likely point to Africa, but they're able to like pinpoint it to countries as well.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm like, listen, Juneteenth, I want a white person to buy me a 23andMe. Those are the reparations
Yeah,
that I want.
but I like when Puerto Ricans speak Spanish though, because it's fast and
Yeah.
I understood it better.
I
I
think
understood it better when they like so because I worked with when I was in logistics in a warehouse, I worked with a large population of Puerto Ricans, and it was such a wonderful time because they were so sweet and so little. Why were they so short? All the women were so short, and I was like, I feel like a monster.
Yeah, see, I just call myself black. I call myself black because that's what I am.
Mhm.
I don't know. I couldn't even tell you where in Africa I'm from. Because like I said, white people don't go around going like I'm European American. Like I said, no, they could break down where in Europe they're from.
Thank you. And they will use that to their fullest advantage at every turn. And it's just super weird that they wanna, like, take everybody's culture, but, like, they don't want the people. Like,
Right.
"Yeah, y'all, Cinco de Mayo's coming, but, like, build the wall." Like, what? You're
Right.
like, "Y'all are weird." It's just
Uh,
like I had to remind my mom, like, recently where I had to be like, I was like, "No, mom, the only reason that Mexico has the reputation that it's dirty is because of border towns, because there's a lot of wars going on those border towns, so there's a reputation that it's dirty. But also keep in mind that it's basically not been gentrified and capitalized on as vacation spots. So like people get this idea that Mexico is dirty when in fact it's beautiful and there's gorgeous architecture there, but people don't see that because like television also doesn't show that. TV shows don't show that. They show like the dirty, gritty side,
of course.
not the beautiful side." I
I'm spicy white.
Devin, I'm going to bed.
Spicy white. Spicy
I
white.
wish that spicy white had never been invented, by the way. I'm just gonna say it out loud. I wish nobody had that's like so annoying. Like
Yeah.
I'm not regular white, like I'm spicy white. Like, no, you're white. It's fine.
Yep.
Like I said before.
And Allie, this is why we don't do 4th of July. This is why we do Juneteenth.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, girl, go ahead and get your little puppy to bed.
Look at him.
I know. Sweet
He
baby.
sleeps so well. But I'm gonna take him out to I'm not gonna say it because if I say it, he'll open his eye.
Yeah.
Watch. I'm gonna take him out to TT. I am gonna take him out though, because if like when it's this late, I normally if I stay up this long, then I take him out again, so that way like I can sleep in and he can too. But I told you as soon as I said it, he was like,
That I was like, that's so funny. Well, thank you for joining me.
"Thank you for having me. This is so
Of
fun."
course. I did link her. Hi, Emily.
Hi, Emily.
So I did link Audra's YouTube channel. Go follow her on YouTube, follow her on Twitter, follow her on TikTok, follow her on Twitch, follow her everywhere because as you can see, she's amazing. So yeah, and make sure you go to my Twitter and you watch the Fergie noises.
Yes. Go over there and check that out because it'll be a good time for y'all.
So, well, thank you so much. And next week, you guys, I will be in Utah, so I'm not doing a live stream, but I will. I'll probably be back the week after that. So,
Whoop.
yep. So, all
I'll be
right,
watching.
well, okay, right.